Sea of Thieves Season 7 is about to be underway, and I actually think they've made some changes and updates that are going to make things worse in the game. There are certain aspects of Sea of Thieves gameplay that I've continued to say need to be adjusted and tweaked, and the new Sea of Thieves captaincy update that's about to start, I think, has good as well as some bad things about it. Now, these videos tend to be long, but I put everything right here at the beginning so you don't have to go searching for my breakdown and my thoughts. If you want to make sure you're here for the breakdown and everything that we do, hit subscribe and the bell button. That way you don't miss when I go live. And this little update does hit another channel, and that's why we record this. This is a Reforge update. Sea of Thieves Season 7 is underway, and I am not pleased with some of the changes they are making with the Sea of Thieves captaincy update. I think there's good, but I also think there's bad. I think there's a continuation of problems with this game, and if Season 7 in Sea of Thieves does what I think it's going to do, my prediction is that things will get worse. As always, be sure to hit subscribe and the bell button so you don't miss my quick Reforge updates, or head over to Reforge Gaming where I stream live. I want to break down the good, the bad, and my prediction about what's going to happen in Sea of Thieves Season 7. So let's just start with the good. GameInformer.com says, listen, you're now going to be able to buy and customize your own ship. This ability arrives on August the 4th when the new season starts. You can only purchase one of each type of ship, and the prices seem a little steep depending on how wealthy you are in the game. The sloop, the little guy, is 250,000 gold. The brigantine is 375,000, and the four-person galleon is 500,000 gold. So it's going to cost you quite a bit if you want to get one of each, or just one in general. This will offer greater customization. You can already customize your ship in Sea of Thieves, but there'll be an increase in this. You will be able to name the ship. It will appear on a wooden plaque on the ship's crest, and if you really want to put your fingerprints on the ship, you can customize the captain's cabin right down to the design of the table, chair, and carpet. There will also be trinkets for achievements. Your accomplishments on the high seas can also be displayed in the cabin in the form of new trinkets, and we don't yet know what those are, and you can place them around. Now, be careful where you place them, because apparently they're physics-based, and they'll move and shift, and the fights that you get in will, potentially have them in different places. They also are adding milestones. The 7th season gives you more to play through with the introduction of milestones, a new progression system that charts your progress in a variety of fields. If you cook 25 provisions, you'll unlock a milestone. If you earn 30,000 gold as an Athena's Fortune emissary, you'll unlock another. The milestones bring unique rewards, including new ship customization. So everything is sort of like linked around getting you to play more, do more, and invest more in your ship. That all sounds great, right? No, it actually doesn't, for one of these reasons, for a lot of reasons, actually. The beginning of the bad. So that's the good. All these great things are going to let you do. Here's the bad, okay? Each item is physics-based, meaning when you're in storms and when you're under attack, you're going to have to readjust everything you've done from the expedition, from your different things. That's kind of the beginning of things being bad. It's like, so wait a minute, I'm investing in all this, but it can be adjusted, it can be messed with by being attacked. There's a greater cost associated for anybody who's doing this if you're a committed player. Each time you return to your ship, it'll be just as you left it, including all damage sustained. You can make it look new again by spending some gold at a shop to fix the damage and give it a fresh coat of paint. So this isn't like the game typically is when you respawn and you come back and your ship looks nice, fresh, and new. If someone has attacked you, dinged you up, scratched everything, made everything look terrible, and you want to make it look nice again, you have to spend gold. One of the primary problems with Sea of Thieves, I've continued to say, is that there's almost no risk for griefers. If you're more committed, if you're trying to do missions, if you're trying to go out and do stuff in the game, you're taking all of the risk. Anything that you might possibly do or earn can be lost because, well, they can sink you, and they're not risking anything. My prediction is that playing to increase customization and take advantage of captaincy just increases your risk as a player. Not only can they sort of ruin what your ship ship looks like by attacking you, but now it costs you gold to get it back to its pristine status. You're spending gold to buy the ship, you're spending time to unlock all the customization, and all of that time and all of that investment can be undone to a certain degree, and then you got to spend more to maintain it. There's literally no risk for the people that just boot up and want to be a griefer. They don't have to do anything to their ship. They can just respawn the default ships and just attack people to their heart's content. You could have your ship sitting in port like you just started, like I did one day, throwing everything on my ship and getting it ready to play a session with my wife, and somebody just sailed by and sunk my ship and blew it up. We don't know if that damage from a sunken ship will carry over the next time your ship spawns. Maybe the solution is just to sink it, but I don't know why you would have an NPC that you have to spend money at to pretty up the ship if you can just sink the ship and sort of restart. That sort of seems counterintuitive, or actually seems counterproductive. Why even have the NPC then if you can just get rid of the damage done? At this point, there's no risk you can dole out greater punishment and greater setbacks for committed players if you're a griefer. Decorating your ship and increasing customization will actually make you a greater target. Anybody that sees a fully customized ship on the high seas is going to say, hey, that's somebody who's spent a bunch of time in the game. They're spending all this, resources. They're spending all their money. They've got a fully customized ship. They have a name on the side. Well, you're going to be a greater target because now you lose more if you get attacked after committing and investing so much time. Get everyone to come back and then drive folks away seems to be the continued pattern for games like this. They don't seem to be willing to take that feedback under advisement. Virtually every Steam review I read had positive things to say, but every single person who said they had stopped playing did so because of griefers. The player base numbers have never been that impressive for this game, even though they brag about record numbers for the number of people that play their game. Steam charts never look that good, and the Xbox Game Center ranks games according to popularity, and it's never ranked particularly high. So at this point, I just feel like this is a giant mistake. They're going to draw everybody back in with Sea of Thieves Season 7, the Sea of Thieves Captaincy Update, and then if you spend any time or money on your ship, that's quickly turned against you by those more PvP-minded players or the griefers. My suggestion has always been to give either PvE servers and PvP servers, or give folks the ability to just flag and say, I don't want to do PvP. I've even said that you could really incentivize people to go into PvP servers by making the gold and XP earn rates on those servers significantly higher than PvE. So then anybody who goes to that server understands the greater risk they're taking, but then there's the greater payout and the greater potential reward. I would potentially see myself going in there, if the mood struck me, to say, hey, I might get some, better advances and better stuff. I might unlock stuff quicker if I go into the PvP server, and I know the risk that I'm taking. But if I just want to relax with my friends or my wife and do a little co-op session and get some stuff done, I'd like to go someplace where I don't have to worry about this. They're now adding more for you to do, but that's just more risk for you to take. Not only that, any damage sustained to the boat actually costs you gold to undo, meaning griefers can take more from you. They can't just slow you down now or steal from you or ruin your quest that you were working on. They can actively make you spend money to fix the very thing that you're investing in, which is your life as a pirate, how your ship looks, how cool it is, how great you've made it look. All of that continues to be pitted against you. I think these are fundamental problems and design flaws with the game, which means I won't be coming back to check any of it out for very long. As always, let me know what you think in the comments below, or head over to Reforge Gaming where I stream live, and I'll see you in the next video. And I'll see the rest of you right now. Good morning, good afternoon. That's the wrong button. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome on in. This one always gets spicy. I'm really, really interested in what you guys think about this. As I was reading the Game Informer article on this, I truly could not believe that they were going to make you spend gold to fix your boat. It's like, yeah, come back. Spend all this time making your boat look awesome, and if anybody attacks you, you gotta spend more gold to fix it. Like, they just continue to make it to where if you really want to play this game and invest, you're the one taking all of the risk. I genuinely don't understand why they continue to do this. The player base numbers have never been impressive. They've never gotten to a place where I feel like they're truly growing and garnering new players or a swath of regularity. It's always down pretty low from every time I check on it. What's good, Feed? I see you in the chat. Guys, if you enjoy my content, do me a favor. Go through that morning ritual, switch to live chat, smash the like button. Let's get our first 100 likes. I have been struggling this week to start on time. I still have relatives in town, so I'm having to make extra coffee in the morning and be really quiet and move really slow because we got a baby sleeping. So it's just really slowing me down in the mornings. I was getting to a place where I felt like I could start consistently at 10 after 9. Get everybody kind of in the room and waiting, and then I would start, and that's just been tough this week. And then keep in mind, next week I will be out of town. To the faithful ones that are here bright and early every morning, I'll be out of town next week. Streams will resume on August the 15th. Keep in mind, once I'm back in town on August the 15th, you might have to go to your subscriptions tab to find me. It might not put me on your homepage, so hopefully we can continue to have great turnouts. Thank you for everybody who is already here this morning. At this point, my discussion question to kick things off is pretty basic. Tattoos, thank you for hitting a 12-month milestone. I think my membership tenure is bugged. Last month it said 11, now it says 7. Yeah, and there it is, and now it says 12. It doesn't work right for whatever reason. Sea of Thieves, please play our game. Look, customization. Also, Sea of Thieves, we're going to ignore the community and add a new gameplay loop that is detrimental to the health of the game. Right? It just doesn't make any sense. 15,000 for heavy damage. That's a 5-minute fort. How do we know? Have you looked into how much it's going to cost, Ashen? 15,000 for heavy damage. That's a 5-minute fort. Right, but again, that's forcing you to go do something in order to undo what someone did to you. That's another form of the griefer manipulating your playtime. If the baby's anything like my toddler, loud noises won't wake it up, and then you're intentionally quiet. Yeah, but in the morning, they're not sleeping heavy, right? So there's a big difference between a baby waking up at 7 and waking up at 9. But those last 2 hours, they're not sleeping as heavy. So it's I don't want to be the one that, sets the baby on a cranky trajectory for the day. I'm going off what Mythor said. Also, gold isn't hard to get from what we saw, an extremely damaged ship, and it only costs 15,000 to repair. That's pretty fair because it's not very expensive. It's not about the cost, Mythroar. I was assuming that somebody was going to take that angle this morning, so I actually appreciate you taking up that angle. I do. I think that's an important thing to say. You're like, well, what if it doesn't really cost anything? That's not the point. That is not the point that I'm making. They're tipping the scales even more against the committed player now. Even if it takes you 5 minutes to be like, well, now I got to go do this thing, and now I got to go get this money, and then I can repair my ship. That person has just manipulated your play session. Instead of doing the thing you were planning on doing, well, now you got to go get some gold. Or, well, it's not that much gold. Well, that's going to add up, isn't it? Every time you play, this is the reality, that if you get attacked, you got to spend gold to polish up your ship. The entire incentive of the captaincy update. So Sea of Thieves Season 7, the whole point is captaincy. You don't even have to do it as cosmetic. Right, but listen to what I'm saying right now. The entire reason to come back is cosmetic. The entire reason to play Sea of Thieves for any foreseeable amount of time, it's all cosmetic. So what do you mean? Yes, it's just cosmetic. That's the entire point of the game. That's the entire point of Season 7. Increasing ship customization. And in the process, they're making it more painful for you if you want to do that. It's so backwards. It's like, wait, so hang on a minute. The entire purpose of Sea of Thieves Season 7, the Sea of Thieves captaincy update, the whole point of this is for me to come back and to get more invested and decorate my boat and customize it. Yes, that's the central identity of this season. That's essentially the central identity of the game. Great, that sounds awesome. Oh, also, by the way, if anybody attacks you or messes with you, you're going to have to spend gold to undo what they did. Wait, what? Why? I don't understand. You already let griefers completely ruin play sessions if they want. You already give griefers the ability to ruin play sessions at no risk to them. They take no risk. They grab a boat that just spawned, they run out, they attack, and they don't have to do anything. There's no risk at all. There's absolutely no risk to griefers. And now they can do more to you. They don't just stop you from getting back with your booty, your gold, your haul. Now they make you have to spend money to undo what they did to you. Even if it's pennies, it doesn't matter. It's more inconvenience. It's like, oh, so not only did they sink my ship, lost all my gold, lost everything I had in transit, I also now have to spend money to fix my ship. Oh, it's just cosmetic. That's the whole point, that people are going to come back for captaincy. If they're griefers, then they camp the person who restores the ships. I don't have to play the game, so I don't know. Another great piece of input from Mike Quad. It's like they don't even think. Risic with a 12-month milestone, and there is also a Tier 3 member. If we hit 100 Tier 2 members, we need like 34 more or something. I will introduce a new segment that gets uploaded for Tier 2 members and above. It'll get uploaded on the weekends or something. So consider switching over your membership to Tier 2. Also consider gifting some members. We did hit 1,500. My wife now has to play Elden Ring at some point during this month. If we hit 2,000, that's our big stretch goal. That's our big white whale goal of membership. If we hit 2,000, we're going to do a watch party of Star Wars Episode 1. So get to gifting and get to becoming a member, and let me know what you think. If you disagree with me, I really want to know what you think about this one. But Mike Quad just brought up a fantastic point. So if you see somebody's boat parked and they go to the NPC and they spend money to fix their ship, you just sit there and attack it again. Just literally grief and camp anybody who's doing that. Oh, you just spent gold to make your ship look nice? Man, it'd be a shame if we just shot it again, since it's stationary. Like, the last time I played this game, that's what happened to me. I literally started the game. My wife's upstairs putting the kids to bed. I'm like, I'm going to get our boat ready. I'm going to grab fruit. I'm going to grab supplies. I'm going to get it all ready. And some guy just sails by and he shoots my ship. So I'm like, okay, no worries. I'll go repair it. He'll keep on going. He loops back. This guy literally wouldn't quit until the ship sank. It was like, he wasn't satisfied until he had disrupted someone's play session. Like, that's all he was doing. He didn't board the ship and look for treasure. He didn't get out of the ship and look for me to be like, oh, maybe I can get some treasure here. Maybe I can kill this guy. No, he just wanted to be a jerk. It's like, I'm just going to sink this guy's ship. It was blatantly obvious it had just spawned. He's just being a douche. He's like, well, let's get rid of this guy's ship. If that happens, well, now, great. I just got into the game, and now I got to spend money to make my ship look better. It doesn't make any sense. Taylor with 4 months. Thanks for hitting a 4-month milestone. Welcome back in. Griefers, I thought this was a pirate game. That defense doesn't get off the ground for me. You can't say a game is a pirate game and be like, it's totally okay to have griefers. That would be like me saying, well, this shooter is all about murdering, so why are you so worried about it being fair, or why are you so worried about griefers? It's about murdering, after all. It's about good game design and having players set up to where they can flourish and enjoy their play session. Russell says, now you have to level each ship to legendary in order to save a second loadout for the that ship size. Only the gaslighted are excited about anything other than naming the ship. I'm not sure what you mean, Russell. So you're saying that the community's not that excited about this? Because you have to level each ship to legendary in order to save a second loadout for that ship size? I'm not catching exactly why that's a problem. What this sounded to me like you buy a ship and then you decorate it. If you're just tuning in, we're talking about Sea of Thieves Season 7, and I think the Sea of Thieves captaincy update is going to make things worse. It's increasing the risk of the player that just wants to sort of invest in the ship or invest in playing. You're taking more risk now with some of the new things that they're adding, and the griefers take none. 19 months from Silver Subaru. That's a really nice milestone, dude. Getting close to 2 years. Have a great time on vacation next week. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. You have to massively repeat the same stuff we have been doing for years, and it resets over and over. Right. That's what I'm saying. So who is this designed for? Exactly, Russell. So committed players are going to have to come back and just do all of it over again. And somebody like me who hasn't been playing, I'm going to come back and you expect me to invest in a ship, invest in gold, invest in making it look dope, and some zit-faced idiot can ruin my afternoon. Like, yeah, I sunk his ship and I wouldn't let him get away. And then yeah, great. And I got to spend more gold. Awesome. Can't wait to do that. The RP ideas are great. However, this could have been done on the ships already. I see no reason for the in-game paid aspect, says Steam Crow. It doesn't make it. None of this makes any sense in the light of everything I've seen said about this game, from long-term players to committed players to people like me who just never really stay in the game for very long because one dum-dum ruins my night. One dum-dum ruins my night. I'm not coming back. I am too busy. I got a lot of things to do. The last thing I'm going to do is sit down for 2 hours and work on something and then have some idiot sink my ship. And it's like, oh, that's cool. Yeah, no, that's totally fine. I like to take my incredibly valuable, irreplaceable time and just throw it in the toilet. That's one of my favorite things to do. I love that. No, I literally don't come back like any other person with an actual brain and a schedule would do. No, there's no neutral zones. You can literally just camp. You can literally just camp the ports or whatever they call them, the harbors where you turn everything in. You just camp them. And if somebody's going there to spend money to make their ship look pretty again, you can just shoot their ship again. Well, they just spent money to make it look pretty. Like, they've got to walk, at the very minimum, they got to walk that aspect back. If they walked that one aspect back, I could be like, okay, this is pretty good. They're still not getting rid of the griefing problem. They still have not created a risk element for griefers. They've done nothing to create a risk element for griefers. Or let's not even say griefers. There's no risk element for PvP-minded players. None. Real money? Not real money. Money in the game. You use money in the game for virtually everything. Yeah, Steam Crow's not been here in a while. Good to see you. So it's like, if that one aspect wasn't there, I could be like, well, okay, I missed the update. What are the changes? Okay, you can buy. Let me catch you guys up on what Sea of Thieves Season 7 is doing. They're calling it the Sea of Thieves captaincy update, okay? What a baby. I'm not being a baby. I'm explaining why people won't play and why it's a design flaw, okay? I guarantee you, you either don't play the game or you're too soft to play a real PvP game, so you beat up on people who are working on quests because you're probably bad at games. So, what they're doing is they're allowing you to buy ships for pretty significant amounts of money and then increase the level of customization. So you can buy the smallest ship for $250,000, the medium ship for $375,000, and the biggest one, the galleon, for $500,000. Now, once you buy it, you have an increased level of customization. You can put the nameplate on the side. You can call it, Wiggles McBooty, and then you can edit the captain room, your captain's quarters. And you can also, do milestones and get different rewards. So let me get this scene set properly. Let me turn that cap card off. So they show it in this video, that we were kind of watching in the intro. Now, the one thing, sub 1 million is nowhere a significant sum. LOL. You're not tracking with the argument. You're talking as if, like, that's all. Did you see the name, though? Did you see the name of the ship? Booty McBootface. It's like, that sounds exactly like some of the names my son's come up with. So, the idea here is you come back and look at all this stuff you can do. Look at the captain's quarters. Like, you can really, really take it up a notch. This is a great update. Like, there you go. You got 3 ships significantly edited in the frame. They look really dope. We use this shot in the thumbnail, right? So the idea is, you see these ships on the high seas, you're going to know, hey, that's somebody that spent some money and some time. You have to consider something. The guys that play the game a bunch are going to come in and tell you, it's not that much money, it's not that big of a deal. That has nothing to do with what I am saying. I am talking about a content loop that is quite literally slanted in the favor of griefers, okay? So let's say you have 30 million gold, and this doesn't even affect you at all. You do understand that seasons often are designed for people to come back and jump into the game. They're not purely designed for the lifers who are sitting on a treasure trove of gold where this won't even affect them at all, okay? It has nothing to do with that. It's about the content loop, right? So come back, work on milestones, work on achievements, get all these trinkets for your boat, spend money to make your boat look cooler, and then if anybody attacks you, it's going to mess with all that stuff that you've done. They said the stuff in the actual captain's quarters is physics-based, so people can shoot the ship and all this stuff, and your stuff's flying and falling down, right? Realism, cool, I'm not against that. However, when they do that to you, you're going to have to put everything back where it was, and if you want to get rid of the damage they did to your ship, you have to spend money. Right? So, in general, what they're doing is they're doubling down on a content loop where griefers take no risk, and you're taking all the risk if you want to do these things. Like, you're taking all the risk. So how do you feel about armor maintenance costs in MMOs and other games then? Because that's really all this is. Okay, I'll take that action, Ashen. Armor maintenance in MMOs and other games. Are there instances in MMOs where some guy can spawn, he takes no risk? If I kill him, he's fine, it doesn't hurt him. I highly doubt it. If he attacks me, he's probably risking his own loss. Loss of XP, loss of money, loss of armor durability. He has skin in the game, right? That is a balanced scale. That's a balanced scale. If you want to come and attack me, you want to mess with me, you're taking a risk. Because I might turn around and crack your skull wide open, and then you lose all your stuff, or you lose XP, you lose gold, you lose whatever. The fundamental problem with Sea of Thieves is that doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. You quite literally take no risk. You can spawn with a default ship. You got no gold on it. You got no treasure. Nothing. Just mess with people all day. If you get killed, if your ship gets sunk, if your ship gets damaged, it's no skin off your neck. It's like, I'll just respawn. I didn't lose a single thing. That's the point. That's the point. There is absolutely no risk-reward element for griefers. For people that boot up and spend all night doing PvP. Fighting other pirates in a PvP pirate game makes me a griefer. Well, my bad, I guess. Wonderful attempt to not even engage with the argument and to misrepresent the opposing argument in a straw man fallacy format, because you're just in here sort of speaking in dismissive, unkind platitudes. You're just being very dismissive. I think you called me a baby. Woo! The intellectual prowess of your ability to engage in an argument is just dizzying. And now you're saying, oh, if I engage in PvP, I'm a griefer. No, I didn't say that. If you want to pretend there aren't griefers in this game, then you're not playing the game. We went through and read a bunch of random Steam reviews, numerous positive reviews that had nothing but good things to say, and then they all said similar things. Fundamentally, I stopped playing because the griefers just drove me out of the game. I just couldn't take it. I couldn't take it. That's the issue. It's about the content loop. If I'm going to come into your game and you're like, hey guys, Sea of Thieves Season 7, we got this brand new Sea of Thieves captaincy update. Come on and do stuff. And I'm like, cool. And they're like, oh yeah, by the way, if anybody messes with you, sinks your ship, or damages your stuff, it's going to completely reroute your content loop. Well, now you got to go pay this guy money to get rid of the damage. I'm not like you. I'm not uber wealthy in Sea of Thieves. I'm a fair weather fan, right? Right? I'm a fair weather fan. I'm gonna periodically come and play the game. and be like, all right, let's check out this new update. So I'm not like you. So I come into the game, and if you expect me or anybody else like me, I happen to think there's probably a lot of players like me that aren't super committed, aren't super wealthy. They play a little bit more casual, come into the game and invest some time. Is the damage purely cosmetic? Yeah, that's the whole game. The whole game is cosmetic, yes. That's fair. However, says Ashen, if you're getting killed by a ship that just spawned, then you've done something wrong. Fresh ships don't have that many supplies, and supplies are more valuable than loot. Right, but that's the point, though, Ashen. If they're committed to griefing, yes, they have to take the time to put supplies in the ship. You're missing what my point was. I wasn't saying they have a fresh spawn ship and they just go out and wreak havoc. It's that they have no risk. They just spawn some default ship they've spent no time in, no money on. They don't care if it gets damaged or sunk. They have no treasure on it. Sure, they take the time to fill it with supplies so they can go and sink ships. Yes, that takes a little bit of time, but there's no risk in that. All those supplies are free. They're all free. 5 minutes max and your ship is ready to wreck the server, says Russell. That's exactly right. You just sinking other players is not griefing. No one's saying that that's what it is. You just complain about pirates being able to damage your ship that you spent a small amount of gold on making pretty and called them griefers. Yes, because most of the people that boot up this game and that's all they look for are ships to sink, they're griefers. If you go into this game, right? If you go into this game, the last handful of times I played this game, the people that come and sink me and attack me, they don't look for any treasure. They don't stop. They don't get out. They don't look for any of the treasure. They just sink me and keep on going. You know what I'm saying? Like, if the point of the game is to be a pirate, you're like, it's a pirate game after all, then why are so many people just sinking boats and just going on their merry way? Why wouldn't you go back for the treasure? Why wouldn't you go back for the stuff? Isn't that the point? Right? Didn't you do this to be a pirate? Why does your ship have no stuff on it? Why don't you have any treasure yourself? Why? Because it's a griefer. Now, if you're out on the high seas and you're working on some stuff and you see another ship and you want to attack it, that's not being a griefer. That's not. But I find it incredibly unlikely that I'm just super unlucky. And like the last 3 or 4 times I've played this game, I run into people who from the minute they see you, they will not leave you alone, and then they sink you and they don't check for treasure. They just keep on going. They're literally in the server to sink people. They don't care about anything else. You're just griefing the server. You're not doing anything else. You're like, yeah, man. Sunk 7 ships tonight. Did you get any gold? What do you mean? Did you get any treasure? Why would I do that? Why would I do that? Why would I go back for the gold? Why would I try to get anything? Well, it's a pirate game, isn't it? Isn't that the entire defense about, so people like me, I would love to boot up the game, go into a PvE server, and just chill. Crack open a drink, relax with my wife, and just sail and do some quests, right? And every time I say that, I get told it's a pirate game. That wouldn't be a pirate game? Oh, okay. Let's take that as a premise. Let's take that as a starting position. So, a pirate game is apparently about people that just go around and sink ships and don't do anything else. They don't get treasure. Like, the fundamental content loop of the game is that you get stuff, invest stuff, and look cooler. Like, that's the entire content loop of Sea of Thieves. And they're not doing any of that. They're just sinking ships. But they're not griefers. The more I listen to you, the more I realize this isn't the game for you. You're exactly right. I never fricking play it longer than a day. You're exactly right. Move on to other games. I don't need to move on to other games. I don't play this game. Playing a PvP game and not wanting to engage in PvP is a very strange way of playing a PvP game. Listening to a stream about opinions about content loop and basically criticizing updates that they're doing to the game because of imbalance with respect to PvP and risk and reward, and concluding that, well, the game's just not for you, move on, you're not listening very well. The problem's on your end. I'm criticizing it as a commentator. That's like literally what I do. I take content loops, I take updates and decisions within games, and I critique them. And my critique of Sea of Thieves is very simple. There's a massive imbalance. You keep calling it PvP, which is hilarious to me, because virtually every PvP game in existence is, what's the primary debate? Always. What's the primary debate in every PvP game? What is it? What's the word that everyone constantly debates and moans about? What is it? Balance. It's not balanced. It's, this is OP, that's OP, this is too weak, right? First and foremost, this isn't a PvP game. It's a game with PvP elements. Let's get that straight. Secondly, if we even take your premise that it's a PvP game, it's grossly imbalanced. It is grossly imbalanced. You can absolutely disrupt what someone else is doing at no risk to yourself. There's zero risk. You don't lose any progress. You don't lose any gold. You don't lose anything. So, imagine there was a game mode that got really a lot of criticism. It continues to be a thorn in the side of the game, right? It continues to be a thorn in the side of the game. There's a little game mode called Gambit, and it's in Destiny. And it's a PvP VE game, very similar to Sea of Thieves, right? You have PvP VE, so you have things you can do that are against like the AI, and then you have this PvP element. You can literally disrupt what people are doing. It's very similar to the idea of Sea of Thieves. Somebody's in the middle of something, and you can come in and disrupt it, right? The beauty of that game is that they constantly dealt with this exact problem, is that if you give too much power to the disruption, it's imbalanced and frustrating, and no one wants to play it, okay? So, I'm not saying you can't have games with PvP VE. You can. The very fundamental nature of some games is, while you're doing this, right, while you're doing this, somebody might disrupt you. And the common theme, the common frustration, the common debate is balance. You need it to be balanced, because if it's not balanced, it's just lopsided and unfun. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not saying that the PvP is hard. It's funny that people tell me to get good. That's humorous to me. It's very humorous to me. Sea of Thieves, real sharp, competitive, skill-based game. Yeah, the hit detection and the aiming down sights and the ship combat. Woo! It's just riveting combat. It's such a high skill ceiling. Give me a frickin' break. Chaos Marks coming in with a brand new membership. Enjoy your dope badge and emotes. You are dope and deserve dope stuff. Guys, keep in mind, we're not banning people for disagreeing with me. I think we banned one person this morning because they were just being a jerk. You didn't even see their message. They were just being an insulting jerk. Listen, we welcome disagreement. I keep it safe for work. You may have noticed I haven't sworn this morning. I run a talk show like this Monday through Friday. And one of the greatest things that we get to do is disagree. And so if you come here and you want to disagree with me, you are welcome here. If you start throwing insults and being a jerk, well, then we'll bounce you, because that's not conducive to conversation, okay? So if you're enjoying the conversation, even if you don't agree with me, if you're like, this is kind of entertaining, this guy sounds like a soft, weak baby, I can't believe he's complaining about Sea of Thieves, that's fine. As long as you're being entertained, that's all that matters. If you're having a good time, smash the like button. Consider hitting subscribe and coming back. We got more things to do today. We'll be looking at Starfield. There was a performance preview that we're going to be taking a little peek at and reacting to. If you're a huge Sea of Thieves fan, don't get all twisted up and angry that I'm critiquing your favorite game. The game will be fine. I'm not hurting it, and I'm not hurting you. All right. So, thanks for being here, and thanks for disagreeing with me. It makes for good television, but do me a favor and consider doing all the things that help out the channel if you're enjoying the show. If you're able to defend yourself, sink the griefer, PvP probably wouldn't have been a problem with Sea of Thieves. Oh, I'm so glad you said that, as if it as if it's skill that's lacking, right? I have something that just keeps making my eye go blurry, and it's driving me freaking crazy. Okay, I'm so glad you said that. Let me read some of the tip messages here. Ghost in the Garage Gaming. Good morning, Lono and Chad. It's my 50th birthday sitting poolside listening to you. Keep up the good vibes. Happy 50th birthday. Can we get some happy birthday vibes in the chat for Ghost in the Garage Gaming? Slow Moby has hit a 7-month milestone. Thank you for renewing your membership. Great community with great peeps. Keep up the good work. Thank you. Thank you. All right, listen. I'm so glad you said essentially what you said. I don't want to reframe your argument and be unfair to you, but essentially what you said was, well, if you were good, you could sink them, and then you could continue playing. So you're basically saying get good, but you're adding a little meat to the bones. You're like, just get good, man. If you were good at the game, you'd be able to fight back and sink the other ship. I'm so glad that you said that. Because most often, at least in my experience with this game, my ship gets attacked and sunk when I'm not even on it. I'm either working on a mission or quest or whatever those little bases are. There's raids, there's whatever. There's let's just say I'm doing something in the game. I want you to think about this. 90% of what they require you to do is not on the ship. You take the ship to the place, it's like riding the motorcycle in Days Gone or something. It was like riding the ships last night in Valhalla. I was trying to get leveled up in Valhalla so I could show off the rogue mode, and it was too grindy. I didn't have enough time. That's a great game, by the way. I was really surprised at just how beautiful that game was. I was like, I forgot how beautiful Valhalla was. But the ship is your means of travel, and then you get up. So 90% of the time, you're off the boat. Watch the horizon, your fault. I love it. The game is flawless. It's all my fault. I just love it. I love that commitment. I love that you love the game that much. I respect it, even though I think what you're saying is absolute silliness. It's always my fault, chat. It's always my fault. Every time I go somewhere to do something, all right, hang on a minute. We got to check the horizon, all right? Where's Dr. Strange? Dr. Strange, can you check the next 20 minutes and see if anybody's going to come by here? Because I just checked the horizon, and I know that's not good enough. There might be some people who I can't see right now, and I need to know. I need to know if anybody's coming by. All right, I need to know if anybody's coming by. So the fact that I'm I go to port to turn my stuff in, right? So, oh yeah, you have to check the horizon. Well, okay, so let's say I check the horizon, I see pirates. Okay, I got to go to another port. You're allowing other players to completely dictate where you go. And again, I'm pushing back on somebody saying, well, if you were skilled, you could sink them. Really? So what if I'm by myself and there's two of them? What if I'm by myself and there's two guys on the smaller ship, they're able to drive and shoot more effectively than me? I was just wanting to chill for the evening, right? And now I've lost all of my stuff. The point is that I continue to make, because people say a lot of things that have nothing to do with what I'm saying. It's a pirate game, okay? Completely irrelevant to what I'm saying, right? You're falling into the trap of my last experience was like this, so all experiences must be like that. That's not the trap I'm falling into, Eugene. Listen very carefully to what I'm saying. I've said it numerous times this morning, and that's a total false summary. I played this game the last time they did an update, so it was last season. I played it 4 different times a day, and tried to do 4 completely different things. One time I played by myself, right? One time I played with my kiddos. One time I played with my wife. And then another time I played with my wife. Actually, 5 times. One of those times I played with Hilly, right? One of those times I played with Hilly. And every single time, some version of griefing took place. Some version. 1 out of 5 times. No. Yeah, every time. Yeah, the one time where the island volcano or whatever sunk the ship, that was even after I got griefed. I just spawned in the game, loaded up the ship, and was like, okay, when my wife comes down, we'll set out and we'll be ready. I got all these stuff. And some guy just came and sunk the ship for no reason, and he wouldn't leave it alone. He like kept coming back and forth, back and forth. So finally I was like, fine, sink it. Like, I just spawn, right? Yeah, that was my fault, by the way. How dare I spawn and not immediately check the horizon and then immediately scramble to leave? Like, that was my fault when that happened to me. It was totally my fault. I'm being sarcastic. Hopefully people are smart enough to catch that. Like, that was my fault. That was my fault. So the last season, I gave this game 5 different play session attempts, and I achieved virtually nothing. It was every time you had these committed guys that live terminally in the game. Some of them are in chat right now. You can tell how like wound up they get when you're like, could I just have a PvE server? No! That would ruin the game! You can't do that! Do you want to know why they get that angry? Because then they wouldn't have folks like me to pick on. They'd be bored. That's why. That's why they get so wound up. What difference does it make to you if me, a person you've never met before in your life, is like, I'd really like to just go play in a PvE environment. You can even decrease my progression speed. Go for it. You can totally nerf my progression speed. I don't care. I just would like to go somewhere else. I don't like being here. This isn't enjoyable. That's why I stopped playing. And every time I make this suggestion, people are like, no, you can't do that. That would ruin the game. No, it would ruin your ability to not grief people. And I'm going to prove that none of you give a rip about PvP. It's extremely easy. There was a little something called Arena, and Sea of Thieves introduced a PvP place for people to go and to fight. And a whopping 2% of the community engaged with it. Do you want to know why? Because none of you are looking for PvP. None of you are looking for an even match. You're not looking to get in fights. You're wanting to pick on someone who's not paying attention. They literally gave people a PvP mode, and 2% of the community engaged with it. Because you have no interest in PvP. You can sit here all day long and tell me it's a pirate game and PvP is built on the principles of being able to attack other people. That's the point of the game. Really? If so many just really, and you tell me to get good, okay, where are all the really good PvP players at? Why didn't they go and play the PvP mode? Why didn't they do that? I thought you loved PvP. Oh yeah, man. Let's go play PvP. This soy boy tripping. It's so funny that someone would get... What is that? Is that alpha male gamer lingo? Is that what that is? Calling me a soy boy. About Sea of Thieves? This game here? This game? Are you getting alpha male about this game? You got a little pretty flower... You got a little pretty flower on your ship to make you feel tough. Yeah, you tell your mommy about it. You take pictures of it. You put it on Instagram. Shut the frick up with your alpha male nonsense talk. I'm a soy boy for criticizing this game's content loop. Really? 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 I beat Dark Souls 3, I beat Sekiro, I beat Elden Ring, but this game here, this is peak alpha male gaming. This is it. Oh my. It's getting thick, chat. Boy, is it getting thick. Holy frickin' moly. Oh, golly. Oh, holy frick. Anyway. I'm sorry. That was too good. The irony was so good. It was so thick. I was like, you get the wrinkles out of a shirt with the irony there. Holy moly. Listen, do me a favor. We love debate. We love discussion. I hope you're enjoying this. I hope you completely and utterly disagree with me, but you're still having a good time. Do me a favor, smash the subscribe button, smash the like button, right? Like, do all those things. I hope you're having a good time. Even if I'm taking the piss, I hope you're having a good time. Keep in mind, I'm a safer work broadcaster. I do a talk show like this Monday through Friday, and I hope you're having a great time. I really do. You can subscribe and throw me on in the background. You do not have to worry about the language I'm going to be using. A lot of people subscribe and then they throw me on in the background like radio. So even if you do not agree with me, you're welcome here, as long as you're not being, if you're being unkind and you're lashing out at me or other people, then you can't hang out here. Yo, Coyote with a $20 tip through Super Chat. What have I walked into today? Homie, the Sea of Thieves crowd, they do not like my perspective on the game. They don't. It's so funny. It's really, really funny to me that, like, are we discussing with no solutions? Oh, I can give you plenty of solutions. It's really, really easy. It's extremely easy. Some good reviews with people with over 1,000 hours. Here we go. Here's a review from a guy with over 1,000 hours. Yeah, it's a pirate game. The game has the same issue like every other PvPvE game. There is a lot of PvE content many new players want to explore, but the PvPers will arrive. Now, if you would mention any requests for a PvE server, you will face an incredible amount of hate and toxicity. Huh. Like I have this morning. That's so weird. The fact is, just like in other similar games, the cool fake PvP players don't want to fight other PvP-hungry teams. Otherwise, the already removed arena would still exist. Excellent made point. They just want to hunt solo players who want to experience PvE, or new players, and so on. Developers really should decide what kind of game this is. If they stick to PvP, then PvE should be simplified, so you don't need to spend a lot of time for events, voyages, monster respawn should be decreased significantly. Funny when you try to find a marked spot for a treasure and already have the 5th wave of skeletons, phantoms, and sea crawlers spawning on you, not letting to use your shovel a single time, or not funny. So what this guy is saying, the end of the review kind of fell apart, but he made an excellent point. And the point he made is very similar to the point that I made, but he's making it in a completely different way. So I talked about how the game feels very lopsided. You can literally boot up the game and you can set out on the seas and take no risk. You won't lose anything. You don't lose progress, gold, XP. You lose absolutely nothing, right? You lose absolutely nothing. The other lopsided nature of the game is what he said. It's PvE. It's mostly PvE content, and the PvE content takes an inordinate amount of time. If right now I could boot up Sea of Thieves and be completely by myself in a server, it would still take a very long time to get anything accomplished. Even the people that play this game don't even claim that this isn't true. You know it's true. It's a very grindy game. It's a slow game. And that's actually a good thing because, it gives you lots to do, right? Every time you sit down, you're chiseling away at something. You get that sense of progression. You get that sense of investment. So right now, even if I could boot up the game and be totally by myself, it's going to take a super duper long time to get anything accomplished. So that's another aspect that this guy with over 1,000 hours in the game is pointing out. A very good review. It's lopsided. Most of the game is PvE. And not only that, the PvE takes a long time. It takes a super long time. So when somebody's like, you didn't check the horizon. Really? So what? You think I park the boat, check the horizon, all's good, guys, and how long am I off the boat? 5 seconds? No! I'm off the boat for a significant amount of time. Checking the horizon is honestly superfluous at that point because you're there for so long. So it's that's another very good point that this guy's making. They did rate it 9 out of 10. No, yeah, that was the thing I noticed, Paul. A lot of people gave the game high marks on Steam. It has great review score on Steam. And we went through and reread some of the reviews. And a lot of them said the same thing. They said, oh, it's a great game. It's fun. I say the same thing. It's one of the greatest games I can't stand to play because the players ruin it. The players ruin it. You're in my chat right now getting all wound up and taking swings at me. Like, I guess you think you're going to get a reaction saying I'm whining and I'm crying. I guess it's your first day on the internet. You think you're going to rattle a YouTuber with, like, I don't know what, grade school pejoratives. So, like, look at how wound up they get. Like, at the simple request of being like, could I just have a server where there's no PvP? You know? Could I? To be honest, you're a crybaby. There it is. That grade school pejorative, like, just such deep levels of intelligence in the chat. You truly are an intellect. Like, I make a simple request. I point out and say, here's all the reasons I don't play your game, and I get insulted, I get attacked, I get my arguments misrepresented. The problem is with you. It's not with me. You're looking at this all backwards. I'm not locked in here with you. You're locked in here with me. You've got it backwards. The problem's with you. I'm not doing anything. I'm not playing the game. I'm not engaging with the content. Many other people say the same thing. They're like, it was like when they brought no build to Fortnite. You know? It was like when they brought no build to Fortnite. There were lots of people like, oh my gosh, I'm actually gonna go play that now. I didn't like the building. I'd be there with them against the changes, but for different reasons. Jolly good show. What's good, Lufi? Here's the thing that's interesting to me. This is another angle of the discussion. If they created PvE and PvP servers, wouldn't that create what everyone's looking for? You're singing the praises of PvP. You really, really like PvP. You think it's part of the identity of the game. Wouldn't focusing that a little bit more be better? Like, yeah, man, everybody who's PvP minded and thinks the way that I think, let's put them all in the same place. Well, that wouldn't be better, would it? No, why? Because you suddenly don't have the PvE minded folks, the new folks, the fair weather fans. You wouldn't have those people to pick on. I think there's a definitive reason why every time they launch a new season, the numbers go like this. They go whoop way up on Steam, and then they come crashing back down. Because there's tons of people in the mix that do exactly what I do. They do what I do. They're like, yeah, let's go see if it's any better. And they get griefed one time. That's really all it takes. That's really all it takes. Is if you get griefed one time, then why would you ever come back? Do you see what I'm saying? Like, I have very limited time. Full-time YouTuber, I got 2 kids, I'm married. If I'm not down here in the studio, I'm with them, or I'm preparing for the next day, or I'm asleep. So if I take a couple hours in an evening to play a video game, and I get griefed, let's just say the first night goes well, but the second night doesn't go very well. I get griefed, people mess with me, they won't leave me alone, I make no progress. I am, like, incredibly unlikely to come back. I'm super unlikely to come back. Like, why would I do that? Why would I come back to a game where all of my time was just wasted? Calling PvP griefing is weird. It's funny. It's just funny to me how, like, nobody played the arena, but you want PvP. The community didn't want PvP. You're the one using the wrong term. They gave you PvP, and no one engaged with it. 2% of the community engaged with Arena. You don't want PvP. You want to mess with people who aren't trying to fight back. PvP isn't griefing. Those are different things. To play devil's advocate, why play a PvP-only game if you're not ready to be griefed from time to time? Kareem, we just read a great review from a guy with over 1,000 hours in the game. This is not a PvP game. It isn't. It's 90% of the content loop is PvE. 90%. Okay? So it's lopsided. It's not a PvP game. It's a PvE game with PvP elements. It's not. To call it a PvP game is disingenuous. 90% of what you're interested in? No! No. That is demonstrably false. That's objectively false. I can literally go to their website and I can go back through every season, every content ad. I can prove you wrong with basic math. That's not true. It's not 90% of what I'm interested in. It's 90% of the game. When they add things, missions, quests, stories, new mechanics, new things to do, it's all PvE. All of it. They literally shuttered PvP. They haven't added a single PvP element since. If it's a PvP game, why on earth are they only adding PvE elements? You're talking about percentage having played the game 5 times? No. I've not only played the game 5 times. I've played the game many times. Most recently, I gave them 5 chances and had the same experience every time. I have played the game since it came out. I've played the game a ton, actually. We played it, I think we played it 4 or 5 weeks in a row. Me and Hilly played it. And that was after I'd already clocked a bunch of hours in the game. I played the game quite a bit. I don't even know what my levels are or anything, but I've got a ton of stuff in the game. Most recently, I gave him 5 chances. Thought, maybe I got unlucky. 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 It was like, there's no way I'm getting unlucky. This is what the community does. I know this is what the community does because of how people are responding today. You're proving that that's what the community does by how upset everybody's getting at the mere prospect of somebody saying, could you just give me a PvE server? I would love it. I would love it if you added a PvE server. Look at how wound up everybody's getting. You're proving that those 5 instances that I had, no. That's the norm. That's what you're going to interact with when you play this game. When you play this game, you are going to interact with a community that is hell-bent on sinking you and ruining your night, and they're going to keep on sailing. They don't care about treasure. They don't care about gold. They're not trying to level up. They're in the server to sink and frustrate. That's why they're there. And to call that PvP is hilarious to me. That's hilarious to me, to call that PvP. 100% agree. When it's just me, my wife, and my kids on a galley, I would love to just be us and the AI. Right, like, I was literally, I had my whole living room set up to, like, play with my kiddos and play with my wife. And it was like we just couldn't have a good time. We couldn't get anything accomplished. So we didn't play. Like, look at this game. I don't understand. It's the most juxtaposed game I think I've ever seen in my life. Like, look at the art style of the game. Look at what you actually do in the game. You literally grind for pretty things. You grind for pretty things. Like, it's like a Disney game. You know what I'm saying? Like, the game is so juxtaposed. Even if you only... Oh, wait, hang on. This is the ship prices here. We already kind of went over this. So you can you see somebody here, he's got 1.2 million. So this is representative of a lot of the people in chat. A lot of people in chat that love this game are going to be like Banana Stall Arena or whatever. They're going to have this much money. They're going to have a ton of money. They're going to be able to probably buy, almost every single boat if they want. And so you do this first before you can do all the customization. So then he calls it the Soggy Rodder, you give it a name, and boom, there it is on the side. So this is what Sea of Thieves Season 7 is bringing this. This is the captaincy update. This is what you can do in the game now. They've also added milestones and different trinkets and things that you can get for just by playing the game. Like, you're just going to get stuff to put on your thing. So you come here, there's ship decoration and ship customization. So now there's all this stuff for the captain's quarters, so you can completely, remaster. You can completely remaster and reskin the captain's quarters and place trinkets on the wall. So here you can see, a handful of trinkets that they're just sort of putting. Now, these trinkets are physics-based, so if you get shot and this stuff here gets shot, it'll come flying off the walls and it'll be on the ground or whatever. It'll have all those things. So, and see here, he's adjusting, he's fixing. It looks like maybe these things just get a little crooked. I don't know. I don't know if they're going to actually show what happens if you get, annihilated or whatever. My contention is they're just adding more to the content loop that lopsides the game. It just lopsides the game. So right now, you look at the boat, it's all dinged up and it looks like crap, right? This guy's invested a bunch of time making his boat look cool. Well, now he's got to go spend money to fix it. Restore my ship. Okay, so anybody who's played this game for any amount of time is going to look at that amount of money and say, that's a joke, man. That's nothing. You're getting upset about a penny, okay? It's not about the money. It's about sending a message. No, it's not about the money. It's not about the amount. It's about the disruption of the content loop being continued at the whims of somebody who has no skin in the game. I think we're passing in the night. We're ships passing in the night, no pun intended. I think a lot of you are hearing me say grief, and you're taking it personal. You boot up the game, and you absolutely love hunting people down and sinking them. You think it's awesome. You're really practiced at it. You know exactly how to tack and use the wind and get right up on somebody and sink them. And you think that that's awesome. And you hear me say griefing, and you take it personal. I think you need to see that griefing is more about the result than your intent. You're missing the forest for the trees. I'm not saying you're a griefer and you're scum. I'm saying you're griefing that player. It's about the outcome. It's not about your intent. You could be a giving money to charity, pure as the driven snow priest, and you are righteous, and you walk a straight path, and you're the nicest person that anybody's ever met, and you come into this game, and you just absolutely love sinking ships, and you're the nicest guy on your block. You mow your neighbor's lawn, and you help little old ladies across the street, and you're like, I'm not griefing, I'm having fun. I'm not saying that you're a griefer and you're trash. I'm saying you're griefing that player. The result is that player's entire experience is disrupted. It's cannibalistic because that person has now a very strong incentivization to leave and not come back because they've lost all progress. They've lost all of their stuff. And let's just say they beat you. You lose nothing. You put nothing on the table. There is zero risk. Moments ago, someone was saying something in chat about, like, if you put on God mode, it takes all the risks out. It takes all the stakes out, and all the fun evaporates out of the game. Really? That's so interesting that you would say that. So I'm supposed to take on the posture of, oh, but it's so enjoyable to have risk and high stakes. Really? You're risking nothing. You have no stakes. You can't lose a single thing. So what are you really taking enjoyment from? Where are the stakes? Where's the possible loss for you? Where's the threat? You're trying to establish a principle that, well, that's what makes the game good, man. That's what makes the game good. High stakes, right? You got a bunch of chests in your ship, and there's people coming after you, man. All of that risk. You're risking nothing. So what's your enjoyment rooted in? Griefing. I refuse to believe that shooting a ship in this game, that content loop is just so enjoyable that, man, you just do it all day long. No. You take joy and you relish in the fact that person has now had their evening or their play session sullied. That you do. You take joy from that. Be honest. At least be honest with yourself. How many ships could you possibly sink before you start to think, this is the same thing over and over again? I risk the loss. I risk what loot I might have, my emissary grade, my supplies. I am definitely not risking nothing. Okay, but you're not engaging with what I'm talking about. A lot of the people that do what I'm talking about, they don't have anything in their boat. They're not working on anything. They're just going out and sinking people. It's meant to be like real pirate life. That's what makes it fun, not dumb PvE. Yeah, it's a real pirate life where if I sink you, you can go up to a mermaid and you can respawn your ship with the flick of a button. It's so realistic. They're shooting you with air. Oh yes, the free supplies you got from the island when you respawned. How much did that cost you? How much? 5 minutes of your time? Oh my gosh. Don't you see how lopsided that is? If you had to go and quest and do little bounties to get some of the cannon supplies and the attacking supplies, at least that would create some semblance of like you have to go and do something. You don't have to do anything. You spawn and just throw stuff in your boat for free. You don't have to do anything. Crying over their free supplies, some of which you start out with by default. Yeah, there's stuff on the boat right away. The boat's not empty when it first spawns. For those of you that might be like, unfamiliar, the boat spawns and it has supplies, and you can increase its supplies. There's barrels all over the island when you first spawn. You just carry that stuff. Well, you don't carry it. You just grab it, go to your boat, and then just shove it all in your boat. It takes 5 minutes maybe. So scurvy's in the game as well. Yeah, if you don't bring enough bananas. I've very rarely seen what you're talking about. Most people fight for the loot. Plus, if you pay for those... Okay. Again, that's super lopsided. Let's say you sink my boat. And let's say you actually are out there looking for treasure. Okay? In my experience, the people that sink me just leave. They don't go for the treasure at all. A couple of times I went back and the treasure was still there, which was nice. It was like, oh, okay, I can get the treasure back, right? But sometimes it's so massively inconvenient. You're like, by the time I get all the way back there, the treasure's either going to be gone or he's just going to be sitting there camping the treasure hoping to kill me. One time they were camping the treasure to kill me, which means they're griefing. The other time, it was like one treasure. It was two treasure things. They didn't even grab them. They just kept on going. And then the other times, they were literally killing me right out of spawn. I just got in the game. I just had started playing, hadn't even left yet, right? And I got guys attacking me and sinking my ship, right? And so the point is that that's super lopsided. Let's say you sink me and you take all my treasure, and then you take it to port or whatever. Okay. All that treasure, a lot of the times can represent hours of work, hours of PvE, going on to islands and going on these other places, and then you boot up. You're in the game for 5 minutes. You load up, get a bunch of stuff, set out on the high seas. RNG's in your favor. I'm right there. Oh, cool. Boom. You sink me. Take all my treasure. It's just massively lopsided. You have no risk at that moment. If you lose nothing. If I lose everything. It's just not a fair deal at all. It's a pirate game. I'm talking about basic game design balance. I'm not talking about some weird ideological position on what a pirate game should be. No offense, but it sounds as if you are complaining because you don't know how to fight. If so, just get into an alliance server and no one will attack you. No, I know how to fight. I've sunk ships before. I've killed people before. I've done it. Like, it's not... The game's combat is not super complex. Now, the one time we interacted with guys, I don't know what they did. Their cannon sounded weird. I don't know if they were cheating, but their cannon was like... It made some weird sound, and we got hit. It was a small boat. It was not a big boat, right? It was not a big boat. It was a small boat, and they somehow shot like 4 or 5 things at once, and they just, it was like a machine gun. It went across the side of our boat, and we just sank instantly. We weren't sure if it was lag. We weren't sure if they were cheating. We were like, what the frick was that? I was like, is there something new you can do in this game I'm unaware of? What was that? It was literally, it sounded like a sound glitch, and it was like they had a machine gun. And it was a boat same size as ours. It was just the little guy. It was a little sloop. When you lose, you always lose something. Okay, Foxaholic. You've stayed in the ring for the day. I've been streaming for an hour and 14 minutes. By the way, every hour, YouTube wants us to run ads, and I don't do that. I don't think that's conducive to the live environment. If you've been enjoying this discussion and debate, even if you don't agree with me, do me a favor and consider supporting the stream with a membership. It's $5 a month. I do members content every day. I stream with my wife on Friday nights. My brother will be in town this week, so consider becoming a member. We also have very generous people here who gift members. So if you hang out here a lot and you're hyperactive in chat, you might get a gifted membership. So it's a great community. Even if you don't agree with me, I think we're having a great morning. I think we're having a good time. You might think that I'm an idiot and I'm a crybaby and I should just get good. At least you're being entertained, even if you're being sort of dismissive. Like, that's not the issue. I've played and beaten some of the hardest games in existence. It's not about skill. It's about enjoyment. And yes, I'm essentially saying this game isn't for me, but I'm doing so by critiquing essential balance problems in the game. You might lose the loot you may have or the supplies you spent time or money on to gather or the time you spent sailing. You always lose something. I'm gonna be honest with you, Foxaholic. I feel like you're being dishonest, which ultimately weakens your point. First and foremost, what supplies did you spend money on? What? When I've started this game, I've never spent money on supplies. I walk around the island, I grab everything I need, and I throw it in the boat. And I get to the point where there's nothing more to grab. What are you spending money on? Why would you do that? I mean, I'm assuming you can you go and buy like the really good ammunition? Is that what you're doing? And is the cost of that ammunition so insanely great that you're truly taking a risk? Or is it like pennies? Because if people are going to look at this and tell me that's nothing, you're overstating it, it's pennies, well, then you've refuted your own claim. Like, if you have to go use meager amounts of gold to buy ammunition, that's not loss, according to your own position and argumentation about restoring a ship that's been damaged with what, 1,500 coin or whatever. And you say the time or the money to gather you lost. Like, really? A supply crate, 17,000. Supply crates, cannonball crates, fruit crates. Okay. And in your mind, Foxaholic, you think the people that are committed to booting up and doing PvP, that's what they do. Cannonball crate, storage crate, wood crate, food crate, which amounts to 30k every time to set sail, so you're not losing everything as well as loot that you get. You don't buy good ammunition. That's a false claim. So you think the committed PvP players are dropping 30k and just going out and hoping it goes well. The guys that boot up and they're like, man, I'm committed to PvP. And they're buying up 30,000 coin worth of crate. Which, for longtime players with millions of coin, that might be nothing. Yes, they are. Okay. 30k is nothing at all, so yeah, they do. Okay. So, I'm trying to think of the risk. I'm trying to assess the risk differences here. So they're booting up. They're spending that coin. And then if they lose, we're not analyzing hypotheticals. We're analyzing the scales of risk, right? If I set sail in this game and I'm working on stuff and I have a bunch of stuff that I'm trying to do, I'm taking a significant amount of risk. That's been the crux of my entire argument. The crux of my argument is that when you play this game and you focus on the PvE elements, which is the majority of the game, you take a disproportionate amount of risk compared to everybody else, right? You're getting too technical? Then go the frick somewhere else. This is what I do. I analyze game systems. I break down incentivization. I break down player behavior and content loops. If you don't like it, then frick off. Jiminy frick. This is what I do. This is the content that I make. And if you don't like it, then find another place to hang out. It's very simple to leave the chat. Like, isn't it more fun to break things down at a technical level and to think there might be a way to improve this game? There might be a way to more balance the scales of risk in the game? You spend a little compared to everybody else. That's what I'm saying. Like, even if I'm conceding your point that, okay, maybe I'm being hyperbolic, there is some risk if you want to be a PvP-minded player, okay? There's some risk. Okay, fine. I will no longer say they take no risk. It's conditional, okay? It's conditional. If they boot up and they spend a little teeny bit of coin, that's what you guys are telling me, that it's not that much coin, right? They spend a little bit of coin on some crates, and they lose, then they lose that money they spent on those crates. Okay, so I can no longer say that they take literally no risk. They might actually, lose some coin if they fail and they get sunk, right? But the issue is the amount of time it takes them to do that compared to the amount of time it takes for a PvE player to do whatever it is they're doing, I think is just still largely imbalanced. Like, as we read that guy's review from a little bit ago, he's got over 1,000 hours in the game. We read his review. I thought his feedback was really good. He was like, it's not just that the game is heavily slanted towards everything that you want to do to advance is PvE. It's not just that. It's the PvE takes so long. Like what Andrew is saying, yeah, I spend hours, you spend a few minutes. You're risking pennies. I'm risking all of my progress for that afternoon. You know what I'm saying? They don't care about losing the 30K. That's no risk. 30K to get instant crates and right on the ship compared to someone taking 3 hours to loot up is not the same. That's the point. I really do think people are missing the larger point that I'm making. This isn't about, I don't like griefers and I'm bad at the game and I'm a casual Carl and I just don't want to get good. No. No, it's about there's just fundamental imbalance in the game. My hour isn't equal to your hour. Well, okay, I do need to be fair, Overtake. The fact that you have all that gold and the fact that the 30,000 is no sweat to you, yes, you put in lots of hours, sure. But in the transaction that takes place in that play session, it just feels massively lopsided. The solution isn't PvE servers? Then what's the solution? Hey, we got some coffee orders coming in. Oh my gosh, we got some coffee orders coming in. Latch, thank you, Latch. 20 minutes ago, ordered a best of both worlds, a light roast and a dark roast. If you are a coffee drinker, you're watching Reforge Gaming, check out Reforge Roast. This is our coffee. My wife and kiddos ship it to you. You're supporting a small business when you buy this. If you're a coffee drinker, we have a light and a dark roast. Our coffee has balanced acidity. If you've never had coffee with balanced acidity, you owe it to yourself to try it. We explain the flavor profiles on the website. And that explains how we get the balanced acidity, which means there's literally no bitterness at all. Voyage? What in the frick game is this? When's this come out? They're offering codes. 2 becomes 1. August the 12th. I won't be here. Wait, are they review codes? For review code state region platform channel. Frick, I can't do that right now. Another coffee order came through, a light roast, and they ordered a Reforge Gaming mug. Thank you so much. Yeah, we only ship to the U.S. for the merchandise. We do ship coffee outside the U.S., but you gotta keep your Reforge roast is on its way. What? Ship to, build to. Yeah, that is a problem. Hang on a second. Hang on. I gotta send something to Creature. Okay. All right. So thank you guys for those coffee orders. Thank you for those merch orders. Me and my brother spent hours having fun making money, and then someone who just joins and spends little money can take it all away. That is the point that I've been making. Is it is just way too lopsided. With respect to it just feels too lopsided. I can't really say it another way. Sorry for the show disruption. We they don't get... Okay. Can we ask some... We need to ask somebody. We need to ask somebody who ordered a mug. Somebody that we trust, like maybe Talica or somebody, if they get that email. Sorry. We got a thing we got to make sure we address, because getting... Okay. All right. Creature will handle it. Okay, thank you. People that portal hop ruin the game for me as well. What's portal hopping? Eugene says, say they properly address griefing. You will always have the risk, and in my opinion, shouldn't have that risks as the game dev wants. That's part of the fantasy immersion they're obviously aiming for. Right. Ultimately, I am always going to come to this conclusion. If they don't give me the option to opt out of the PvP element, then I just am not going to play the game. And I'm not saying that they should. I'm saying that's what would make me play. I said the same thing with Fortnite. I can't hang with Fortnite anymore. I aged out. The builders are too fast. The editing, the skyscrapers in 2 seconds. Can't do it. They added no building, and I came back, right? I'm not, look at my channel. I almost never cover Sea of Thieves. Every time it comes up, right? Every time it comes up, I make my case for, hey, I'd come back. I'd play it a bunch. I'd play it with my wife if they would just give me the option to opt out. And if they don't, that's fine. That's fine. I say the same thing to people that want easy mode in Dark Souls games. They're probably never going to do it. And it's probably good for you just to not play the game then. That's what I do with Sea of Thieves. I make my case. I say, listen, I think you could do this in the spirit of the game. I think you could make if you made PvP servers with gold earn rates and XP earn rates all multiplied, let's say you get double the XP in gold if you're on the PvP server, that would be awesome, because I tell you what, there would be times where I would go in there. I'd be like, it's worth it. I've got my boys. We're going to play. We're going to be on guard. We're going to sweat a little bit, and we're going to make a bunch of progress. And if I want to kick back and relax, I can kick back and relax. I can go onto a PvE server, and there's way less, the progression's way slower, but I can just have a good time. I ordered a mug. Any issues I can help with? Mithrax, did you get an email from the company that's making the mug? That's the question I have. And if you did, I would like to see it. That's a good idea, which makes you a much bigger target for PvP. They do that with the emissary flags already. Oh, so you run the emissary flag, and you get like more stuff, but then that makes you a target for the PvP guys, right? Russell says, as a family man myself, my time is way more valuable to me now versus when I was a younger guy. Maybe that is why they are having a hard time understanding what's going on here. Okay, Talika says no emails. Okay, cool. Cool. If you get one at all, Talika, at any point, like when it ships, when it finally arrives, whatever, just let us know. Just let us know. You should not be, but I'm just double checking to be safe. I'm just double checking to be safe. We don't think that you will, but, you know, stranger things have happened with technology and stuff. There are no emails from them even created. Okay. Listen, when I talk, it's important. Okay, but I got an email today that I had never gotten, Creature. So I do my best to listen and to know what's going to happen. But the email I got today, let's not be condescending. Like, the email I got was a little alarming. Like, wait a minute, what? Like, why did I get this all of a sudden? And if that's going to them, then that's a problem. Like, I think my concern was valid, because that didn't happen up until today. Yo, what's good, Sean? How's it hanging? What's this nonsense going on in Sea of Thieves? Okay, let me catch everybody up. I made the Sea of Thieves guys very angry today. I made them very angry. Could we get a couple more likes on the video? Listen, I put on a good show. We've had a good debate. Give me a like. And where are the members? We've got no members for today. They want me running ads every hour, and I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. So let's have some super chats. Let's have some members. Let's have some likes. Come on. Come on. I can get saucy. I can get spicy. I keep it safe for work, and I'm putting on a pretty good show. Let me give you a catch-up if you're just getting here, okay? Why does the thumbnail say it's going to get worse? Why is it going to get worse? Listen, can I just say this? Can I just say this? I actually love that some of you are such diehard Sea of Thieves fans that you are in here defending it. Some of you got your hackles raised and you, like, took shots at me. I actually love that because that just means you love the game that much. And I like when someone loves something a lot, even if it makes you get a little nasty, right? Even if it makes you get a little nasty, it's a sign of passion. Like, it means that you really love the game. So I can see through some of the posturing and the peacocking and the pufferfish nonsense of like, yeah, this guy's just a weak, just get good, bro, right? I love that you love the game that much that it drives you to, like, attack and come after me. I think it makes for a great episode. It makes for great TV. So thank you for being here. Even if you think that I'm full of crap, I hope you've had a good time. And I appreciate you and how much you love the game. So let me catch everybody up on what's going on. So Sea of Thieves Season 7 is doing the Sea of Thieves captaincy update, okay? That's what's happening tomorrow. We might actually boot up and check it out. Seriously, I'll probably boot up and check it out tomorrow. Yo, my man Chris gifting 5 members to the community. Alex, somebody I noticed the avatar. You've been here a lot. Thanks for that, Alex, for being here and getting one. Jones Jr., Revzilla, Casual Craig, and Silver Surfer. Guys, make sure and say thank you so much to Chris. Make sure and say thank you to Chris for gifting those members. Let's get a little gifted member train going. We hit 1,500. Let's set our sights on the big one, the big kahuna, 2,000 members, right? Someone boot up in grief for content, says Eugene. What a freaking loser. What's good, Demins? Good to see you. Okay, so that update hits tomorrow. Sea of Thieves Season 7, tomorrow. It was my contention that they are continuing to tip the scales against those who play the game and attempt to do all the new stuff. So you can buy a ship, name it, slap a placard on it, or a plaque, slap a plaque on it, decorate the captain's quarters, put all this different stuff in there, right? You can do all that stuff, right? And all that costs money, time, commitment. You got to do milestones and all these different things. And I said, this is all good. I said, there's good, there's bad, and here's my prediction, okay? I'm going to name my sloop the Flying Twig. There you go. I said there's good, there's bad. Here's my prediction. So that's all good. They've added milestones. There's new things for you to do. There's new things for you to customize. It all looks great, right? It all looks great. However, I think the content loop continues to be sharply pitted against people who literally come into the game to do the thing that you are promoting. Come engage with Sea of Thieves captaincy. What do? You buy a boat. That costs money. You decorate the boat. That costs time. Got to do milestones. If the boat gets shot up and you want to make it look nice again, that costs money. Not very much, but the repair costs are like a single chest. It's not about the size of the cost, Honest Ghost. I'm completely willing to concede that the amount of money it takes to repair the ship is nothing. Keep in mind, I've had bad experiences with griefers, and a lot of the times I wasn't even streaming. I was just playing on my couch. And when your big old ship, or however what size it is sitting at port, and you're trying, you're spending money to repair it, somebody could come by, shoot it again, whatever. You're giving more opportunities for griefing at the ports. So, yeah, and then the repairs hurt new players, right? Here's the thing. This is the question that I have for big-time fans of the game. I'm going to presume, so my argument and my question is going to be built on a presumption, and the presumption is that you really like the game. I think it's a fair presumption. I'm going to build on that presumption with another presumption. You really like the game. You would like the game to continue, expand, and do cool stuff. I think these are fair presumptions. So I'm going to build on these presumptions that I think are fair and reasonable. So if you want the game, if you want Sea of Thieves to continue and to add and to do new things, do you not think it would be good for the game to have a healthy influx of new players? And that's fundamentally, I think, the question that I have. How is any of this set up to be welcoming and to function well for new players with how imbalanced it is? It seems completely built for those of you that have tons of money and you get it and you love it. And then if I'm outside of that concentric circle, right? If I'm outside of that circle and I'm like, well, I would play it if it was a little less intense or if there wasn't so much PvP and griefing, and then outside that circle's new players. If those outer circles are just very unwelcome in the game, I would think that that's not a great trajectory for the game's life and longevity. Like, where's the money coming from? How do you spend money in Sea of Thieves? How do you spend money? Because the Steam charts don't look very good. Give me 1 second. That's what I want to know is, like, how do you think this game moves forward and how do they make money if they're making it tough for new people or even people like me to come back? Oh, sorry. I had to use the restroom, and then my little niece is so cute, I got distracted. Okay. Let's see. Once you buy the cosmetics, the money is worthless. We just play... It's something about hunting and being hunted. It's not just Steam, it's Xbox too. So you can't bias it on Steam. No, but... No, I'm not. Right? Steam is a barometer of engagement, is it not? What, you think just everybody on Steam hates the game and everybody on Xbox loves it? You can also go to Xbox and rank the game according to how many people are playing it. They have a way for you to do that. And Steam and that Xbox page that we've always gone to, it's never looked that impressive. It's never looked that impressive. So that's the point, is don't you want more people coming into the game? Like, think of it this way. So the way that No Man's Sky has monetized their game is actually incredibly interesting. There are no microtransactions. There are no DLC costs. There's no seasons, no battle passes. I mean, there's expeditions, but they don't charge for any of it. The only thing you have to pay for is the game. That's it. But you're not including Xbox. I'm not leaving out Xbox to be dishonest or like by omission. I'm mentioning Steam because it's faster to mention Steam because we can check the actual Steam charts. Like, come on, man. Like, don't be pedantic. Like, I'm clearly not trying to like leave out Xbox. I know tons of people play on Xbox. There's a way to just bounce this guy. Like, there's a way to check how many people are playing on Xbox as well without just getting an accurate. We don't get like an exact number, okay? It's like top 30th on Xbox. Yeah, so it's not doing that great on Xbox. Top 30th, and then you look at Steam to get a barometer of the player base, and I think that's a very, very good indication of the game's health, okay? So, I'm going to use No Man's Sky. Same with a lot of games. That's completely unrelated to what we're talking about. That's a red herring. Invoking other games like that, like lots of other games don't have player bases. That has nothing to do with what we're talking about, okay? Look at the way No Man's Sky has monetized their game. Everything's free. You just got to buy the main game. And it's worked pretty well for them. I would imagine Sea of Thieves is kind of structured in the same way, is it not? Like, how are they making any money from you? How? You guys that are in here defending this game, hammer and tongs with me, it's great. You're still here. Some of you guys have literally been here for over an hour and a half, and I think that's freaking awesome. But you're debating with me back and forth. How are they making any money from you? How? I'm not asking this to be weird or like condescending. I'm genuinely curious. How are they making any money from you? You said No Man's Sky, that's another game. I'm drawing an analogy between another game that is structured in a similar pattern of content delivery and monetization structure. When you invoke another game to say, oh, other games lose players too, other games are ranked low, that's a red herring when we're talking about the actual player base numbers of Sea of Thieves. You're making an excuse. You're making an excuse. You said not to bring up other games. No, I didn't. You are really bad at arguing. You don't understand basic argumentation. Let me try to help you because you're having a hard time. If you're going to excuse a game having low player base numbers by being like other games have lower player base numbers, you're just doing a red herring. If a game is fundamentally broken, like Battlefield 2042, and it's fundamentally broken and bad, and its player base numbers are bad and down, and you can't be like, well, plenty of other games have low player base numbers. No, that's a red herring. You're just making it. You're just trying to distract from what's happening with the game. Drawing an analogy to another game that has formatted itself very similar to Sea of Thieves. I'm not making excuses or doing a red herring. I'm drawing a comparison. It's called an analogy. I was like, well, No Man's Sky does the same thing. And one of No Man's Sky's main things that they focused on is making it really, really easy for new players to jump into No Man's Sky. And Sea of Thieves just doesn't seem interested in that. I pretty much said how new players can watch videos by the community for PvP strategies and helpful tips that can help them make the game enjoyable. So they need to install the game on their Xbox and then go to YouTube and find videos on how to play better. I was too charitable. It's 36th. I'm not talking about the player base. Okay. The point that I am making, I walked through this very carefully. I think these are two very, very reasonable premises. If you really like the game, I'm presuming that you want the game to continue and continue to add great stuff. I think those are fair and reasonable presumptions to make about people that are in here arguing for over an hour with me about this game. I think these are fair presumptions. How do they make money? The first valid point you've made since I've been here. I will admit Sea of Thieves is very unkind to new players, and sometimes that can be a problem. Oh, man, I love this. I got respect for somebody that'll stay in the ring this long and then be like, you know what? That was a good point. I like you. That's so much a part of what I'm talking about. Because you guys talk to me like, just quit crying and get good. Just go play something else. Really? But what about everybody else like me? What about everybody else who might be new, inexperienced, or maybe they haven't played the game all that much? It just doesn't seem very welcoming. Like, it's just this weird posture of like, dude, suck it up. We're going to sink your ship. You're going to like it. Like, you're going to lose your progress. You're going to spend money and you're going to like it. Not to brag, but I own 4 paid ship sets. I am genuinely curious about the monetization. Like, so you can buy... What else can you buy in the game with real-world money? You can buy the game. What else can I buy in Sea of Thieves? Yeah, Eugene is saying Far Cry had more players on Xbox. Yeah, Fallout 4 has 38 is 38. Sea of Thieves is not doing well if it's down there with games like that. Come on. Cosmetics. You can buy pets, costumes, emotes, and ship sets. Golly, this game must have absolute whales. It must have insane whales. Yeah. I know you can't buy anything to give you an edge, Prosy. They've always said if you play a bunch, it won't give you better equipment to be stronger, you won't have better cannons or whatever, and you certainly can't buy anything to get an advantage either. This game must just have absolute whales in it. They get money from being on Game Pass? Well, I don't know about that, Rainy Day, because Rare is owned by Microsoft, so that relationship might not be that transactional. Whaling in this game gives you nothing, you buy because you like. Well, you might be missing the point that I'm making. The fact that this game is still around and they're still adding content, they must have microtransaction whales in this game. People that are just absolutely like, because where's the money coming from? Unless Microsoft's just footing the bill and they're like, we just want a game like Sea of Thieves to continue and to expand and, you know, do seasons and stuff. We just want that on Battle Pass. We want that presence. I'm sorry, we want that on Game Pass. There are 100% people and streamers that buy everything. Where's the money going? This isn't some 200 dev operation. That's what I'm saying. How big is Rare at this point? How is this even working? No, man. Wait. No, Microsoft gives studios money for it being on Game Pass. John Bon Zombie, they do, but they own Rare. And typically the money to be on Game Pass is like an upfront thing. You think I'm genuinely curious. Do you honestly think, I'm not sure about this. Do you think they're just giving money to Rare all the time, like, let's say on an annual basis to be on Game Pass? They owned them. Like, here's your allowance? Like, I don't know if that's the relationship. Like, they're like, yeah, we own you, but we're also going to give you money to be on Game Pass? No, we own you. You're our property. You're going on Game Pass. They have 200 employees. Yeah, I know they do drops and stuff on Purple, for sure. And that brings in money, for sure. I'm actually, at some level, I think I'm impressed with this game. There have to be certain games that they keep on Game Pass as one of the carrots to have people sub to it, says Demins. I can see Sea of Thieves being one of those. Yeah. Yeah. It's a recognizable, iconic game. Yeah. Yeah. I think I'm impressed with this game at some level. So the fact, because they have 100% just refused to budge on this issue. And I gotta tell you, I know there's bias here. I'm admitting my bias, but the same thing happened with Fortnite No Build. I feel like if they said we're gonna have a PvE, we're gonna have PvE servers, and then we're gonna have normal servers, and the normal servers your gonna earn rate is gonna be significantly better. The PvE servers we're gonna slow down earn rate on everything. I feel like a ton of people would come back and potentially spend money. Like, I know I'm biased, but I feel like there's so many people that would come back. They would immediately go, I'm installing. And then that's tons of people that might spend money in the game. It's one of the large games to have its name on the console based on Xbox and exclusive, but it's not a very big game. I would definitely come back. Well, so if you're new here, I usually sandbag questions to keep the conversation going, but boy, oh boy, you guys brought the heat, and I haven't had to use any of my questions yet because we have just been absolutely debating for almost 2 hours now. Do me a favor, could we get 60 more likes? Let's go for 400 likes. We've had well over 500 viewers for the bulk of the stream, and now we're hanging out in like the upper 400s. We could easily get 400 likes. I know you guys are probably thinking, I don't agree with this guy, blah, 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 blah. We've still had a great time today. We've had a great show. We've had a really, really good back and forth. And, ooh, when's it coming? When's it coming? Track with the app. I got something coming to me for a new sponsor. No location details. So I have a tracking number. Okay. Copied to the clipboard. It's coming FedEx. You know? Can I just paste and track? Is that a thing? It should just see it. Yeah, track via FedEx. I'm really, really excited about this one. Really excited about this one. Gosh, I knew it. I knew it. It's going to be here next week. Estimated delivery date is next week when I'm not here. Dadgummit. We'll have to have our neighbors snag it. Hey, we got people ordering stuff. Somebody ordered a Team Dark mug. We the people. Thank you for ordering a Reforge roast mug. Appreciate that very, very much. Appreciate that very, very much. Let's see how many new subs we've gotten today. Oh, wow. We're heading towards another milestone for people subbing to the channel. So it's coming in pieces via FedEx. Yeah. I disagree with although I disagree with almost everything you are saying. I am enjoying the debate, and I still respect your opinions. I just hope you would play the game a bit more and see why I love it so much. I Foxaholic, I don't think you... Maybe we've missed each other quite a bit today. I actually love so much about this game. I've played it a lot. When they did the Pirate's Life thing, I played through the whole thing. I played through with a buddy of mine. There are hilarious streams on this channel of me playing the game, drinking and laughing. I stole my own ship. I'd had a couple of drinks. I had gone around this island. and I was like, oh, there's a ship. I set my own ship out to sea. Like, I like this game a ton. Me arguing for almost 2 hours as passionately as I have is not coming from a place of dislike. It's actually coming from a place of enjoyment. If I didn't like this game, we wouldn't be talking about this. I wouldn't have met you. I wouldn't have met you. Yeah, I griefed myself. I wouldn't have met you. I wouldn't have made this stream. You wouldn't have found me. Because I would be like, I don't like that game. You're never going to find me doing a passionately, thought out argument and debate about a fighting game or a sports game. Because I don't like them. Are you in favor for PvE servers? Well, that was my first discussion question that we could turn into a poll. Would you like to see PvE servers? Would it make you play less or more? Let's do this. Let's do this. Sea of Thieves. Let's do a poll in the chat. Sea of Thieves PvE servers. Would they make you play more or less? Play more? Play less? That's the question. If they added the servers, we'd be like, I'm playing less. I'm not going to play as much. This is stupid. You're going to fragment the player base. I'm going to lose people that, to attack. It's going to take that organic living server aspect out of the game, and I'm just going to be left with a bunch of PvP players, and it's not going to be fun. Or would you be like, this sounds awesome, I would play more? I wish you would PvP a bit more and see that it isn't toxic or griefing, but it's the most fun you can have with the game. Here's the thing. I don't think we can understate how much Summit influenced this game's griefing culture. He literally encouraged it, streamed it, and did it. Right? That was all they did. That was all they did. I don't have anything against Summit, but I think it influenced the culture in the game. I do. Now, here's the thing. I don't like PvP, so I'm never going to boot up a game like this and be like, yo, where's the PvP stuff? I'm just not wired that way. Some of the stuff he did was funny. Oh, it was hilarious. It was hilarious. He's a good entertainer. He knows what he's doing. There were plenty of people that streamed this game and would mess with people, and it was hilarious. It was absolutely hilarious. I'm not denying it. I'm not denying the enjoyment and the humor. I'm saying, isn't there a way to do that without it ruining my night? You know what I'm saying? It's like prank culture, okay? So Ashton Kutcher started that show a lifetime ago called Punk'd, right? And it spawned an entire culture of pranking people. You put up a hidden camera and you prank somebody, right? Well, I think we can all admit that there are pranks done in a good spirit and there are pranks that are just cruel, okay? I've seen pranks done, especially to children, throwing cheese on a baby's face or lying to your kids to spook them and make them scared, and then they cry, right? There are pranks that are quite cruel. And so it creates a culture of people going further and further and further and further and further of well, what can we do to prank somebody? What can we do, to really up the ante? So, you see these prank channels on YouTube, all these different things. Yeah, when Justin Timberlake thought the IRS took his horse and then the guy was stomping on the guitar. Yeah, that was good stuff. It's exactly like prank culture. Great analogy. So in my mind, you guys are in here and you're like, there's no harm in what we're doing. We're just having fun. This is so entertaining. But the only way you get to have fun is there's got to be somebody who's having a terrible time. Kutcher came out and said recently he would never reboot Punk'd because he prefers having friends, indicating that he damaged a lot of relationships with pranks. Well, or he just thinks that you're going to start to run out of friends. Your friends aren't going to trust you. Every time he comes around, they're going to be like, what are you doing? What's happening? Right? You notice the people that run these pranks have security staff on hand to protect them. Oh, for sure. So that's my point, is in order for you to pull off the prank, in order for you to do the thing, there's got to be somebody on the other end of it having a bad time. Somebody's getting shaving cream on their face. Somebody's getting a pie in the face. Somebody's getting their clothes soaked with water. And it's like, oh, I love pranks, bro. And that person's like, that's great. Like, I didn't bring a change of clothes, bro. I'm going to be miserable for the rest of the day. But I got a great video, bro. Yeah, you need a victim. Right. And I just think that's my issue with it. Is I just don't feel like you can sustain a player base if that's just woven in. I think that's one of the reasons that Sea of Thieves has always struggled to have a vibrant and sustaining player base. If you look at the numbers on Xbox when they rank the games by popularity, and then you look at the Steam charts, I don't think they've ever had impressive numbers, and they should. This game should quite literally be one of the most long-standing, most popular live service games out there. It just should. It's a beautiful game. It's super fun. There's always something to do. There's always something to gain. This thing should be busting at the seams with people. You don't have summit climbing on your boat every time you set sail. There's plenty of great hauls and great defense for everyone's summit vid. Well, yeah, sure, but this is how I think about it. Let's say there was a restaurant that you really liked going to, right? And you liked it so much, you went 2 or 3 times a week, right? How many times would it take for you to not go back if, like, the wait staff spilled something in your lap? One time you'd be like, wow, that's like right out of a movie. That's never happened before. 2 times you'd be like, oh, okay, is this a gag? 3rd time you'd be like, I'm never coming back here ever again. What in the frick is going on? You only have so many chances for somebody to say, bro, I'm done. I got a couple hours a night to play games, and I just had my entire play session wasted. I'm done. I'm absolutely done. I think the fundamental problem with the imbalance in Sea of Thieves, what if that's the gag of the restaurant? Yeah, but again, if you like the food, but you don't like that part, is what I'm saying, Eugene. It would drive a certain customer base away. Man, all these people love our food, and they really wish that part of the business wasn't a thing. The gag of, like, spilling food on people. Because I get what you're saying. You're saying, like, this is part of the experience in Sea of Thieves. Yes, but it creates such a disproportionate amount of unenjoyment. Right? It's like, it's just so imbalanced. Like, you lose so much. It's not like losing a match in PvP where you're like, well, next match, let's see what happens. You lose your whole play session that evening. It's just gone. Let's say you were playing a game and you knew going into it that there was a bug and you could lose your save progress. You know going in that that's a risk. It's a bug. They haven't managed to fix it. So a lot of people are just waiting and they're not playing. And you play anyway. How many evenings progress would you have to lose before you're like, I'm not playing this game? And what if the developers were like, we just can't figure it out. It's always a risk when you play our game. It's just, you might lose progress. You might completely lose, 2 hours of your play time. Well, it would only take 1 or 2 times for you to be like, yeah, I just don't think I want to do this. I don't have endless amounts of time, right? That's short-term thinking unless you lose your play session every evening the same way. It's not short-term thinking. You lose money for cosmetics, but you gain PvP experience. Well, what do you mean I lose money for cosmetics? That's the entire way you progress in Sea of Thieves. PvP is what it is, right? It does suck when you are on the losing end, but the game itself is about pirating. Also, there's a Discord server, which Rare should advertise in-game. What if they just don't have resources to make PvE servers? What if it just isn't financially viable? Yeah, maybe. Homie, I'd spend $10 for access to, like, if you want to unlock, you know, access to PvE servers, we're gonna have to charge $10. It's like a DLC. I would frickin' pay money. I would pay $10, maybe more. I'd probably spend between $20 and $30 to get access to a PvE server version of Sea of Thieves. I would fricking pay money. I like the game. It's fun. I would enjoy playing it with my wife. I would. It would be so relaxing. You don't lose your whole session. You lose the loot you got on your boat. That's on you if you keep all the loot until the end. Yeah, but again, so every time... It's so inefficient, Ashton. It's so grindy. Come on, bro. You played this game a lot. Every time you complete something, gotta go back. Every time, gotta go back. Gotta go back. Gotta go back. Like... Yeah, and some quests require you to keep a decent amount of loot until it's time to turn in. You got like a handful of things you have to do. I've watched too many people that can't do anything in the game other than be attacked, says Creature, and that's because of the population on the game, but that's because of the culture. That's what I don't understand. The Alliance servers exist for this very reason. Why do you want to pay for something that's already there? So educate me on what's an Alliance server. What is an Alliance server, and how do I get on one? I'm not familiar with that. I'm not. What the PvP heads don't understand is that by keeping things solely PvP, the devs are literally leaving money on the table. Honestly, if you remove the PvP obstacle and you make it optional, that would improve it for a huge amount of people, which is worth it because why would you not cater to the most people that you can? You use a flag and you get an alliance. It's a server that's held by a group of people, usually via Discord. No, I'm not interested in covering ESO. There's too many ESO YouTubers out there. We don't get any traction. It's a random server where all players from an alliance and they don't attack each other. Honestly, I think that's proof that PvE servers existing alongside PvP would be fine. PvE content costs a lot of money. If only a PvE server, people will play and finish the game and that's it. PvP adds longevity if you can't get into it. PvP is good for the game, PvE is not. It's so funny that you say that, Frostbite, when everything that they've added every single season is all PvE oriented, and the one PvP thing that they added, they shuttered it and shut it down because no one engaged with it. Like, what you're saying is funny because, like, you're saying PvP is good for games' life, but PvE is not. Yeah, the player base numbers completely disagree with what you're saying, and so does the literal content that they're adding to the game. Like, that's all they add is PvE. Haven't you noticed that lately they're adding, like, stories and narrative and PvE experiences? They literally added... They literally added a story that you can't even be attacked when you're in the story. And it probably costs them, you know, a fair amount of time and money to develop it. All the Pirate's Life stuff. They might add PvP content soon. PvP adds longevity. Right, Preacher? What do you mean it adds longevity? Sea of Thieves released 4 years ago. It's been 4 years, and virtually everything they've added has been PvE in focus. Somebody should let the devs know they should focus on PvP. Isn't that story where homie shot you in the face with the blunderbuss? There were parts of it where people could attack you. It wasn't really in their interest. He did it one time and then he stopped because we were all working together to solve the puzzle. But when you went to the areas where you were like driving through that green wall, you couldn't be attacked once you were in there. There was totally story-driven elements to that no one could attack you once you were in them. There were other elements where, like, yeah, once we were down in there doing that, he could shoot me, but he was going to fail the encounter if he kept doing that, because if you're busy shooting me, you're not working on the puzzles and the enemies. You're going to lose. Like, so it was in his interest to stop. Like, he shot me that one time and it was kind of funny, and then he stopped doing it. We blip. Not on my end, we didn't. Not on my end. Might have blipped for you. I will say this. I wish Elden Ring had voice chat only because I want to hear the rage quits. Oh, what's good, Wheezy? Okay, so according to the poll, let's get a lot more votes here. We don't even have 300 votes yet. There's plenty of people who haven't voted yet. A lot of people here. Sea of Thieves PvE servers, would they make you play more or less? 70% are saying play more. So just this slice, just this little teeny community here, we need 15 more likes on the video. Come on, chat, let's do it. Just this community, the majority are being like, yeah, I'd play more if there were PvE servers. Now, we are not the gaming community at large, but I have to think that's some indication that there is a pretty good chunk of folks out there that would come back. I want to know why the PvE only choice, no balance, don't play on alliance server discords, tons exist. I don't understand what you're saying, Russell. Most PvE content is indirectly PvP content. The stuff you get from PvE adds more incentive for PvPers to take your stuff. Well, of course, yes, it's a catch-22. Foxaholic, it's a catch-22 that my argument today was just keeps getting worse. Hey, come back and do captaincy. What do you do in captaincy? Well, you buy a ship with gold, customize it from milestones and work that you do, and all of that can be disrupted and, damaged by other players, and then you have to spend more money to fix it. Oh, so now there's more things for me to do that can be disrupted, installed, and slowed by other players. And not only that, even the very reward that I get, making my ship look dope, I have to spend money to undo the damage that other players do to the ship. You just keep stacking potential pain disruption and content loop disruption. You just keep stacking those elements. That's been my argument all day. It's like the catch-22 is getting worse. It's not getting better. I would play on a PvEVP until I got sunk. Then I would switch to the PvE server, which would extend my playtime instead of halting it. Well, that's why I've said, like, if you went to the PvP servers, they should give you a gold, a multiplier. You should earn more gold. You should earn more progress, more stuff. Because you go over there, you try it out, and you're like, this is dope. I got away with it. Whew. Oh, I did it. I got some missions done on a PvP server. Holy frick, that was intense. I got so much more stuff, right? And then you get sunk and you're like, well, I want to go take it easy. I'm going to switch servers. You're a dumb blank. This is a pirate game. You don't have to pay money to repair the ship. You can keep the battle scars. You can spend money to get a new paint job. That's it. Okay. Try to engage with the argument instead of jumping to an insult. Jumping to an insult just shows you don't have an argument and you lack the intellectual strength to actually engage in an argument. Don't forget you get quality of life features for being a captain, like turning in every loot to sovereigns, extra supplies, and captain voyages. The costs are the risk for the rewards. Taking Arena away, I'd say nothing that splits the player base can be beneficial. The game is better the more people are there, even if some attack at random. Sea of Thieves diehard's mad. He can't respond, went with the 60. Aw. He'll be okay. Just imagine you're playing Sea of Thieves and we just sunk your boat and you just have to wait to talk again in chat. If you're only playing 30 minutes, you aren't getting ganked, and if you do, you've lost 30 minutes, nothing. It takes 10 to get started. If they remove the ability to gain rep and reduce the amount of gold you got on PvE servers, I think that would be okay. It would allow solo ship mode as well. We put your comment in a money mutual fund with other silly comments, and it's gone. That's funny. That's funny. Come on, 4 more likes and we can hit 400 likes. Come on, chat, give me your likes. Give me your likes. I need them. And I want them. I'm trying to click back up. You ever try and do that? You want to click back up in a browser and it just like won't friggin' do it? The fact that people are building their own alliance servers should be proof that PvE only lobbies should exist. Great episode, Robert. Oh, yeah. PvE would only help the game, in my opinion. RuneScape, a game that was made like 20 years ago, had a woods area to do PvE. I loved that feature. Doesn't this issue mirror the issues that most PvEVP games have, like New World? Yes. Honestly, man, your opinions are very valid. Everyone has different preferences when it comes to games. These are some good debates. You'll get my like. Thank you. Listen, you guys will notice something. We have not banned anybody for disagreeing with me. We absolutely love when you come in here and disagree with me. In fact, a lot of you that agree with me, you probably feel like you get ignored on days like today, because I'm mainly looking for people in chat that don't agree with me. It makes for a better discussion. They get more of my attention. So, Creature and I almost ran with a story about an MMO to take up the question about New World and PvEVP environments, right? And we almost ran with this, but the game didn't have a whole lot of pull. Not a lot of people knew about it, okay? And keep in mind, guys, we have been live for 2 hours, and I have not once run ads. Live streams on YouTube are different than traditional YouTube videos. Traditionally, when you watch a YouTube video, you get an ad at the beginning, middle, and the end, okay? Now, when people watch our VODs, there might be like an ad every 30 minutes, like when I'm not live. So, consider all the various ways you can support the channel monetarily. We're a scrappy channel. We're setting our sights on continuing to grow, hitting 20,000 subs soon. And we really want to hit more members. If you're not familiar with membership on YouTube, it costs $5 a month, and it gets you into all of our extra content. So consider clicking the join button or typing !join in chat. It only costs you $5 a month, and you're going to get extra content practically every day of the week as a member. So consider becoming a member and supporting what we do here. It helps us not run ads. It helps us keep on going. Maybe order some coffee. Maybe order some coffee merch. That helps us as well. So there is this game that... What was the name of the game, Creature? It was an MMO, and it's called Lost Oasis. It's still in our DMs. Lost Oasis. So Lost Oasis is an MMO, and they're being very frank and honest about the PvP has essentially ruined the experience of the game. And they're completely reworking it, and they're sort of eating their own hat and eating a bit of crow and acting like, well, we can't do this. We thought we could. I believe the PvP nature of New World is one of the fundamental reasons that game didn't get off the ground. And I believe that it could have. I believe it's a beautiful game. It's a pleasant game. It's very enjoyable to be in New World. Their PvE content is stellar. Their dungeons are amazing. Okay. They do a very, very good job. And yet, PvP influences the game to such a degree that I believe it drove people out of the game. The territory control is an unenjoyable just thorn in the side of the game. And I said all this before that game came out. I said it was ballsy to have an entire server's territory and taxes and money and economy dictated by player behavior, because players can be jerks, okay? PvP tends to get cannibalistic, right? People stack and they smurf and they like to stomp and they can drive people out of the game. And we have this other MMO now admitting that the PvP nature of the game has essentially killed their game slowly. I've expressed my concern for Ashes of Creation, another MMO where PvP will just be on all the time. They're giving assurances that it'll be really painful and there'll be consequences for people who largely focus on PvP, especially when they focus on doing PvP against a person who's not an aggressor. They're just trying to get away. They just want to be left alone. I continue to think that attempting to inject PvP into games like this is a fool's errand. I think it's a fool's errand. I think the player base numbers in New World, in Lost Oasis, and Sea of Thieves prove my point. I don't think you sustain a large and healthy player base. I don't think you expand your player base when you do this. I think it's an absolute fool's errand, and this game and others will continue to waste their time by doing this. Games that thrive with both silo them. They silo them. The big, long-standing franchises that have PvE and PvP coexisting, they are siloed. They are separate. And I'm going to continue to, that's going to be my continued position. You can like it. You can think it's awesome. You can think I'm wrong and I need to get good. That's fine. Your game's player base is on my side because it's small and unimpressive. New World's player base numbers are on my side because they shrink and they keep shrinking. And Lost Oasis is on my side. Dollars to donuts, Ashes of Creation is going to go the same route. It's going to go the same route. It's going to cannibalize itself. It's going to fold in on itself, and you will not sustain a player base with this. That's my position. I've been playing games since Wolfenstein 3D. I'm 40 years old. I've commentated on games for almost a decade. I have never seen anybody pull this off. That nobody's pulled it off. Tarkov's too contained. Tarkov's too contained. No. A battle royale with PvE elements in it is not analogous to what I'm talking about. No. And survival games like Rust, don't survival games like Rust have PvP and PvE servers? Don't they have servers where you can't lose anything? I know Ark did that. Plenty of survival games silo them. Yeah, Rust and Ark. You can literally in Ark, you can go in PvP and PvE servers. It's siloed and it's separate. Wait. Tarkov's not a good example because Tarkov is literally built on the idea of fighting against enemies and others, like survival in the Division. It's a mode. It's a mode. It's not some big giant long-standing game where people are like committed to growing their players or whatever. What did Suede say? Too much work, not enough lurking today. Apologies if I missed it. But isn't this and Skull and Bones show that there are folks that just want a piratey exploration game? Maybe. I don't think there's demand for Skull and Bones. I think Skull and Bones is going to die. I don't think Skull and Bones is launching because they're legally obligated to launch it. I don't think it's launching because there's people that want it. Didn't someone call you a soy boy earlier and you called them an alpha chad? No, I said it was alpha male lingo. I said it was alpha male lingo that didn't make any sense in a game like this. Oh, you meant the negative feedback for both. I see what you're saying. You're saying that people are responding to Skull and Bones with a similar sort of like, what the frick, I just want to be a pirate. Like, you know what I mean? I don't want PvP. A 9-month milestone from Adnor. Loving the members-only content. Can't wait for round 2 of Madam playing Elden Ring. Thank you, Adnor. We did hit that 1,500, so she's got to play Elden Ring. It'll probably be on the 19th. This Friday, my brother will be here, so you members are in for a treat this Friday night. Please explain to me how a game with a small and unimpressive player base has been supported and updated consistently for the past 4 years. I don't know. I don't know their budget. I don't know their earnings. I don't. Microsoft could be footing the bill. It's a 200 employee operation. They could have enough whales to sustain it. Microsoft could be literally keeping them afloat We want you on Game Pass. We're going to keep you open. We don't know. I don't know their financials. I bet if I looked hard, there's as many examples of successes as failures. Let me state it another way, Eugene. I think it's far more likely to get absolutely lampooned and sabotaged by the player base than it is to flourish. I think it's like... I can't think of a good analogy. I just feel like you're walking on a high wire. You're walking on a high wire. It's so easy to tip over into one way or the other. There's so many games that are trying to do this, and it's just like, why? Why? Just silo it. Separate it. Yeah, the popularity and the engagement with Gambit and Destiny, New World, Lost Oasis, like, and even a lot of games, they just admit, they're like, yeah, we got to silo it. Disney did season 6 with them, so there must have been some outside interest. Well, but again, I don't know. We don't know where the money's coming from. It stands to reason that when you look at the player base numbers, that this game it's not turning revenue. I don't know. I refuse to believe. Again, you look at the player base numbers and you look at the financials of other games that have maybe their earnings that are a little bit more public. It just seems crazy to me to think that like this game's just absolutely churning numbers. It just seems bonkers to me. The players aren't there. But again, that doesn't mean that they're not making good money, because they could have, like I said, just crazy committed whales that are just spending large amounts of money. We know from other breakdowns and other analysis that 20% of the players make up 80% of the profit. So, but that's 20% of the players. 20% of the current player base. 160,000 players means there's no players. Where are you getting 160,000? Like, Sea of Thieves on Steam has never cracked over 66,000 concurrent. There are 165,000 players online in Sea of Thieves right now. That means there's 100,000. That means that there is 13,000. That means that there's 152,000 playing on Xbox, because there's only 13,000 playing on Steam. More around 200,000 concurrent. Where are you getting these numbers? So 13,000 people are playing right now on Steam. And I'm supposed to believe that somewhere between 113 and 170,000 people are playing right now. Why use Steam numbers for Xbox game? Because it's a barometer of interest. Like, so you think that, like, if let's just say we go look at the Steam numbers for Battlefield 2042 Doom and they're in the toilet, isn't that an indication of public interest? Isn't that a barometer of health? I'm not saying that's the only amount of people playing. I'm saying this is an indication of health. What do you mean? If I go to Steam and some games numbers are insanely high, like when Stray. Like when Stray had insane numbers on Steam, where we're like, well, we don't have Sony's numbers, so, I mean, maybe nobody's really playing it on Sony. Nobody would say that. You'd be like, yeah, that's an indication of health. That game's doing very well. It's just a barometer. That's the only... I'm not using it to say there's only 13,000 people playing. I'm saying it stands to reason that if there's roughly 14,000 people playing on Steam, there's not 130,000 playing on Xbox. It's probably slightly more. I'll give you 20,000 right now on Xbox. 20,000. Based on the games in front of it, there's no way it's 160,000 concurrent. You can literally go to Xbox's website, rank games according to how many people are playing them, and Sea of Thieves is like down at 36. They're in 36th place. They're down there with single-player games. You think there's 113,000 people playing single-player games right now on the Xbox? Right now, boom. That many people are playing Fallout 4? Google says between 226,000 and 250,000 concurrent players. Based on what? Where are they getting these numbers? Google thinks that there's somewhere between 200 and 250,000 concurrent players right now. That means roughly 200,000 people are playing Sea of Thieves on Xbox. There's no freaking way. There's literally no way. We run Destiny numbers. That's like Destiny numbers. Ah, frick! I gotta schedule the next stream. This has been such a good discussion. We can keep going. I don't have to cancel. I don't have to shut down. But I have to get the next stream scheduled. Give me 1 second. It's about Starfield. You Xbox guys are in for a treat. We're covering 2 of your games today: Sea of Thieves and Starfield. Okay. Gaming news, Starfield news. Okay. Hang on, I gotta copy my tags. Okay. You guys, I know I can see chat buzzing in the corner of my eye. Don't worry. I'll read what you guys are saying. I think some of y'all have a very overrealized sense of how healthy this game is or how popular this game is. PlayerCount.com, yeah, says 253,000 people are playing right now. Wait. Where are they getting this? Update the player count. It just went from 253 to 239,000. That number is freaking random. I swear that thing is just a dice roll. The website doesn't even make any sense to me. Google's results are based on Techa Cake data. Sea of Thieves makes $300 billion a year. Farming Simulator 22 is higher in the ranks on Xbox than Sea of Thieves. Yeah, Farming Simulator? So I'm supposed to believe that over 200,000 people are playing Farming Simulator right now. There's no frickin' way. $250,000 is a lot of people. Maybe I should give the game a go. Okay, let me just give you an example. A game that I'm familiar with its popularity and the number of people playing and community. Very long-standing game. Destiny 2 has 52,000 people playing on Steam right now. 52,000. It's probably double that on Sony and probably about double that on Xbox. You know, what, 250,000 people are probably playing right now? Oh, I was very close. According to Charlemagne, 288,000 people are playing right now. Dadgummit, I'm good. I still got it. We're supposed to believe that Sea of Thieves has close to the number of players right now online as Destiny 2. No. Destiny clocks roughly 1 million logins a day, higher than that on peak of a season. I'm supposed to believe that there's over 1 million people logging into Sea of Thieves every day, close to it. There's just no way. Like, you're not familiar with player-based numbers and player behavior if you think it's even remotely possible that many people are playing Sea of Thieves. But on Steam, there's only like 13,000 people playing. Wait, so Sea of Thieves has a third of Destiny player count on Steam right now, and that's bad? No, I didn't say it was bad. I didn't say it was bad. We've just been saying that it's not very impressive. It's a 4-year-old live service game on Xbox, and it's extremely approachable and very, very visually appealing. And honestly, it could be a very casual game. And they can't. They have 13,000 on Steam, and on Xbox, I'd bet they have about 20,000. Yeah, and it's on Game Pass. It's not possible even by Xbox's own numbers. Yeah, Xbox ranks the game according to player count, and even Xbox is making that impossible if you compare its rank to Destiny. People are saying in chat that 152,000 people are playing right now on Xbox. Yeah, there's just no way. There is absolutely no way. We are close to another milestone. And that's on all platforms. Yeah, Destiny's on all platforms. Like, this game's obviously only on 2. So that's going to hurt it a little bit. Sure, that'll hurt it a little bit. So when someone fixing the numbers, a lot of these websites that give you estimated player counts are just absolutely all over the place. That website that's like giving out a player base number, it says that Farming Simulator right now has 15,000 people playing. So it says there's 15,000 people playing Farming Simulator. And Farming Simulator is ranked higher on Xbox's chart than Sea of Thieves. But Sea of Thieves apparently has like 250,000 people playing according to the same website. It's literally a website that's just spitting out random data, probably based on... I don't even know what they're basing it off of. Do they say on that website? $30 million have logged in with Sea of Thieves. Yeah, they're probably basing it off of that, like that 30 million total logins from Rare when they trotted out that number. The general rule of thumb for player counts is to double population of on console to whatever the Steam charts say. That's what I did, Preacher, and I got really close to the number on Destiny. I said around 250,000. It was 288. I was pretty close. And so with Steam and Sea of Thieves, 13,000, there's probably 26,000 people playing on Xbox. I said 20. I said 20,000. So, like, again, I was close. Like, I was like, yeah, I'll give you 20,000 on Xbox. Close to double what we're seeing on Steam. That's the point. Websites are pulling that data off of D&D Dice Roll. I don't know. I don't know where they're pulling the data. The number I posted was for Xbox total players yesterday. Oh, it wasn't concurrent. The 288? You read that wrong. Okay, so just yesterday, 288,000 people were playing. Are you talking about the Charlemagne numbers, Eugene? 288,000 people played just yesterday on Xbox in Destiny. I interact with them anytime this subject comes up in my YouTube live streams. This person's like, do people actually act like this? Yeah. My alpha male video today on I sent it to TikTok. I sent it to TikTok, and somebody's like, there are people that actually act like this? Yeah. Yep. Many sites are saying about 250,000 concurrent. I don't know where they get it from. Stop calling them alpha males. Use that website. Yeah. Let's use this website for Destiny 2. How do I search this website? Games. Lost Ark. It says there are 290,000 people playing Lost Ark right now. Sea of Thieves, according to this player counter website, Sea of Thieves is 40,000 players behind Lost Ark. Come on. Destiny 2 has 874,000 people playing right now. Apparently, Destiny 2 has almost 1 million people playing right now. Lost Ark has 290,000. Coming up right behind it with 253,000 players is Sea of Thieves. There's no frickin' way. Yeah, they don't have API access. They're just making numbers up, man. We've gotten lost in the weeds here, right? We've gotten lost in the weeds here. 435 votes. Sea of Thieves PvE servers. Would they make you play more or less? People are saying play more. 67%, 33% are saying less. And we appreciate you guys smashing the like button. You gave me 400 likes. 432 likes. Oh my, we might be able to hit 500 likes. We might actually get 500 likes on this video. I had another question for this discussion. We still have about 10 or 15 minutes to go before I need to switch gears and go to the next thing. We're going to be taking a look at a Starfield performance video from IGN, and we're going to be taking a look at it. So before I do that, how would you guys handle the griefing situation in a game like Sea of Thieves? I'm not saying everybody that does PvP is griefing, but I personally have felt like every time I boot up the game, there are lots of people that are more committed to just griefing someone and not letting them play or have a good time. They're not really focused on playing and having, PvP. Yeah, Among Us has 1.1 million players playing right now. There you go. Yeah, Among Us. So how would you handle the griefing? What would you do? Have a way to switch to toggle, says Skiffy. This must be a summer April Fool's. See if these PvP isn't bad to me. In fact, I want more of it. Okay, you want more of it. That's actually funny, Poe. You know what never comes up in these discussions? You know what never comes up? All the PvP folks that were here earlier, defending the game, ardently taking up for the game, acting like I need to get good, the problem's with me. Why aren't you asking for more PvP content? If you're so PvP minded, if you love player versus player, it's been 7 seasons of nothing but PvE. It's kind of weird. Is that not a problem? Is the community? I'm actually curious. Those of you that are more plugged into the community, are you begging for more PvP content? And if you're not getting it, why are you still playing? Why are you still playing? We do ask. So you've been asking for more PvP content for 7 months. They shut down the only PvP focused piece of content, Arena, and you just keep on playing. That's weird, man. That's weird. They provide PvE, so baby boy Lono comes and plays, giving them more PvP content. You institute forced auto loot when you attack someone and win. That way, the people who attack and win now have something to lose by default after the fight instead of being able to move on to the next fight. Also, you have to apply a penalty for loss no matter what you are carrying, even if it means you get a negative balance in your gold. Off the top of my head, that would be my starting point. Yeah, there's good and bad about the auto looting. Yeah, because if you sink the entire ship, the likelihood of me getting all the way back there and getting it is really small. I think that would work. If you completely sink the ship, yeah, you get all the loot. Am I really going to get all the way back there? It usually spawns you like a lifetime away from where you were anyway. You're not like right next door. It's not like, oh, I can see my stuff. It's right out there. And you, like, hop on your boat. Yeah, it would make that person kind of a hot ticket item. Like, you know, maybe it should be like some of these games where when you're out here attacking, they put a bounty on you. Oh, yeah? You thought that was fun? You sunk that person? Cool. Here's all their loot. And a big giant flare just went up in the sky. Look what we have here. A bounty. Get this guy. That's how the game already works. Negative balance gold is just going to be so bad. What do you mean? It doesn't auto loot. You have to go get their stuff when you sink them. All their chests rise to the surface and you have to go grab them. You got to grab them and swim back to your boat and put them on your boat. Bounties don't do anything before there are only 5 ships on the server. What if AI responded to the bounty? The bounty only matters if that person stands to lose something by being killed under a bounty. Well, it would just be annoying, right? You would create some pain for the griefer. Hey, yeah, you sunk that guy. Dope. Here's all of his stuff. Now you're bounty marked. Both living and non-living players are gonna come after you potentially. Increase environmental threat to people who attack other players. So now while you're attacking other players, you also have to deal with a bunch of other ships attacking you. With auto loot, you're immediately at risk. That's right. I don't know if it was mentioned, but Division Dark Zone had a highlight for griefers or rogue agents. Also add a zone at the ports where you cannot take damage while inside the port, and you cannot cause damage out of the port. Essentially, the ports would be like the tower. Yeah, especially once your boat's docked. Like, the guy that sunk my boat when I had just spawned and it was docked. It's like, why? How are you even going to abuse that? What am I going to do? I can't shoot from the dock like you're saying. And you can't shoot me either. Like, yeah, it should just be a safety zone. Sea of Thieves community is bigger than you give them credit. No one really cares about the numbers. Same with State of Decay. Very chill IPs. Glad they exist. I don't think Sea of Thieves is very big. I don't. The fact that there are not neutral zones is crazy, says Barrier. I fundamentally think PvPvE is built upon the idea that encourages a PvPer, and that includes the most toxic of PvPers. Gambit had that issue. When you try to allow PvP in a questing environment, it causes this issue. I wish Sea of Thieves had PvP zones like The Division. Yeah, like hotbeds out at sea where everybody's like fighting. That'd be freaking dope. Winner takes all, you know? 3 or 4 ships show up, duking it out, you know? Somebody manages to navigate it and survive, and they get everything. Let PvE players hire AI bodyguards. Can't attack, but can defend if attacked. That'd be kind of dope. To have like have 1 or 2 ships kind of following you and help you out a little bit when you're by yourself. PvP players did not like Arena because of that. Yeah, they did a PvP mode. Nobody played it. It's not big, Lono. I've never heard of this game outside of you. Add a loot extraction ship. From my perspective, there are only 5 precious ship slots. That's hard to say. Precious ship slots. Precious ship slots on the server. Any of those I cannot fight lessens my experience. A large middle area PvP. If you're only PvE, you just go around. Yeah, you just kind of skip around those areas. You could try and cut through. You know, they could say, hey, if you cut through this area, there's treasure in the water. You might be able to grab it. And you're like, that's tantalizing. And then you get attacked. You know, you get blasted. They're all in there waiting for you. Arr, you're in the, you know, you're in the black waters now. Like, you know, they're just all hanging out. There's treasure everywhere. Just got here. Lono must have ticked some people off. Why? Why would you say I ticked people off? We've had a great day. What did I do? I don't think the like to dislike ratio is that bad on this video, is it? Let me check. No, we're getting a 90% roughly. That's really good. We usually land in that ballpark. Let me see where memberships are right now. 1,506. We're still holding above 1,500 members. Enjoy my Harry Potter Patronus fail. Harry Potter. Oh, Hogwarts Legacy. Shorts. Turn this on. My dislike extension says 134 down. Yeah, that's fine. We have like an 87% like ratio. That's perfectly good. That's a good ratio. I'm going to it right now, and yeah, 453 to 127. Yeah, it's like an 87%. Yeah. We could probably get 50 people to smash the like button right now and hit 500. There's plenty of people here. Right? There's plenty of people here. I watched your stream a little while now, and you really got some points I completely disagree. The devs are adding PvP content all over the place, and the dev designed the game to fight enemies. Snake Official, what PvP content have they added? What have they added? I'm actually curious. I'm genuinely curious. I've followed the game quite a bit. I've covered their streams. I've covered their reveals. I've played the game quite a bit. And I don't feel like I've seen PvP content added that much. Curse Cruise, Reaper Bones, Arena, just name a few. Okay, they removed Arena because only 2% of the community engaged with it. Curse Cruise and Reaper Bones? How old are those? When did they add those? That's my question. Where are we on this count? Oh, shoot. We got to start shifting gears here. Arena's not really one I would bring up if you think like, oh, I'm really going to prove this guy wrong. They added PvP content. Yeah, they added Arena. They removed Arena because nobody engaged with it. Fort of the Damned, Fort of Fortune. Those are PvP pieces of content? Fort of the Damned and Fort of Fortune? Let me see what we got mostly from today. Mostly recommend. We got a lot of recommend today. 21% of you clicked on recommend. We got 66% from browse. And a very small portion, less than 4% on search. So I really appreciate you guys clicking on the stream and hanging out with us today. I really do. We've had a good time. And there is a Starfield performance preview and breakdown that we are going to be taking a look at today that I think is really, really important in light of a lot of the things that people have been saying about the game. I think it's good to continue to look at that game. Preview reaction. Live. Okay. And we do a thing called redirect. So the second show, you can come with us and you don't have to do anything. It will bring you with us. Just in case it doesn't, though, I will put the link in chat. Okay. Do you know how much 2% of people playing Arena really is? Also, you don't even know what Alliance servers are. There it is. There it is. Yeah, 2% of a very small community, and the developers agreed with me. Such a small percentage of people engage with it, they shut it down. Like 2 years ago, Reapers is way more new. Arena had a huge fan base. Really? It had a huge fan base. Sea of Thieves Arena had a huge fan base. The devs who actually have the information and the data said the exact opposite. So I don't think you're making a very strong case for yourself by disagreeing with the people in charge of the game. Fort of the Damned and FOF is PvP. Had too much technical problems. That's why they shut it down. Oh. Okay. Rare got it wrong, you know? They said that only 2% of the community engaged with it and it wasn't worth keeping around, but they should have talked to you, I guess. How many people are active? 8% out of these 2% played arena. Okay. All right, man. Whatever you say, bro. At this point, I cannot indulge folks who speak as if they know better than the developers. I just can't do it. Doesn't seem like it's worth my time. We got other things to do. We've been debating this for 3 hours, and we have another show to do. Boom. Close that. Close that. Good discussion. Appreciate all the people who disagreed and kept it charitable and fun and light. I hope you come back for more content. I hope you stay for the next piece of content that we do. You don't know what the dev said? Yes, I do. I watched the stream where they said it. It seems like you don't know what the dev said. I can't do that laughing face. Yeah. I know what the dev said. I watched the stream and covered it live here on my broadcast. You don't seem to know what the dev said. We're shutting down Arena. Only about 2% of the community engaged with it. And you hear, it had a huge fan base and we had to shut it down because of technical problems. You're wearing like headphones like they wear at like the UN that like interprets everything through like a fog of copium or something. I don't know. You have no idea of the community, bro? Okay. Fine. Yep. I'll take Rare's word over you. It's their game, and they track the numbers, and they shuttered the PvP arena and said it was because no one was playing it. All right. I am going to put a link in chat. We are going to go check out this Starfield performance preview, and we're going to break it down and react to it, and we're going to see what exactly is going on. I'm going to put a link in chat just in case redirect doesn't work. Starfield performance in the gameplay has been a continued question mark for many people. When we watched the Starfield gameplay reveal, I said that I thought the Starfield performance wasn't looking so hot. Right now, there's an IGN video we are going to be watching, reacting to, and breaking down. It is entitled Starfield Performance Preview. So we're going to be reacting to that and watching that. If you want to watch the original content, it's on the official IGN channel. We're going to be taking a look at this. We've been covering Starfield pretty extensively, so make sure and hit subscribe and the bell button. My live streams tend to be anywhere from 2 to 3 hours long. I usually put like everything I think right at the beginning, but I can't do that when we're going to be watching a video. I also have a Starfield news playlist on this channel. I'm going to end the previous stream and redirect everybody over. We were talking about the new